Today I lost my senior year of high school. The whole world's frozen to the ground. I wrote a song in red pen, hoping it would make me feel something. There are moments in time when no one can tell you for certain that you will be fine. It's all up in the air and nobody understands why. Why? 'Cause this life of ours wasn't made for the dark. We gotta keep shining and shining. Who's gonna be my hero? Who's gonna be the one to save the day? Will he wear a blue suit and red tights? Will he sing a sweet song saying it's alright? It's alright. It's alright, it's alright. Today I lost my rose-colored glasses. Everything important drifts away. Like a melody from within, from my heart it rises again, it flies away. Who's gonna be my hero? Who's gonna be the one to save the day? Will he wear a blue suit and a red tights? Will he sing a sweet song saying it's alright? Saying it's alright, saying it's alright. It's alright. There's someone you love, they're so far away and you wish they were coming home. Lord knows what is lurking in shadows, but this life of ours wasn't made for the dark. You gotta keep shining, shining. Who's gonna be my hero? Who's gonna be the one to save the day? Will he wear a blue suit and red tights? Will he sing a sweet song saying it's alright? It's alright, saying it's alright. It's alright, saying it's alright.
Well, I've been running for far too long. You see, I've been reaching, searching for my song, and then something told me, child, you got to slow down. Something pulled me down the winding road home. She called me home, West Virginia. Oh, how could I go wrong? Sweet down home, now mama, go on, sing me your song. Well, sing me your song, oh mama. That song I love to hear. Sing Where there've been battles, choices I have made, the friendships, loves, and broken dreams all make me who I am today. You see, all the roads I have taken, they seem to have led me here. Something pulled me down the winding road, the winding road home. She called me home, West Virginia. Oh, how could I go wrong? Sweet down home, now mama, go on, sing me your song. Well, sing me your song, oh mama, that song I long to hear. Sing to me sweetly and whisper in my ear. You see, all the roads I have taken seem to have led me here. Something pulled me down the winding road home. Down the winding road home.
Have you ever felt that there was something more? you're not alone. And at this time, here and now, on planet Earth, we're all awakening, waking up to what we came here to do. And that's find the light, reach the light, touch the light, and shine it, and shine on, and shine on, and shine on, and shine on.
There's a light in the distance, and the sound of beating drums. There's a light in the distance, and the sound of beating drums.
Grab hands and we, thirsty, we run to the river and we drop to our knees and we drink of the joy of life and we pass it on. Yes, we pass it on. Yes, we pass it on and on and on and on.
What we came here for, that's what we came here to do. That's what we came here for. What we came here to do. That's what we came here for. What we came here to do. That's what we came here for. What we came here to do.
Find the light, reach the light, touch the light, and shine it, and shine on, and shine on, and shine on, and shine on.
When you close your eyes, money won't bring you back. When your eyes and shine, won't you think about that? 'Cause we know who's in the sack, with all the profiteers and the quacks, lying about all the facts. It ain't that whack. They must think a camel can pass through the eye of a needle. Yeah, they're laughing all the way to the bank. One more time, they poison the dreams and the people. Yeah, 'cause they can't put it back the way God had it made. Mother Nature tries to purge out all the sludge, but it's real hard when you're cherry picking the judge. The bottom line versus time, and there's no way to change their minds. The game is forever tied into a lie. They must think a camel can pass through the eye of a needle. Yeah, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. One more time, they poison the dreams never get them back. They've gone too far, got way off the track. Well, we try to save some grace, keep a smiling face, pray for a sense of place. They must think a camel can pass through the eye of a needle, yeah, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. One more time, they poison the dreams and the Beatles, yeah, 'cause they can't put it back the way God had it made. Now they can't put it back the way God had it made.
Hello out there and welcome to Celebrate Princeton, an online broadcast. I'm Lori with the Riff Raff Arts Collective and we're coming to you from the grassroots district of downtown Princeton, West Virginia. Now it's right around this time when we all would have been enjoying Celebrate Princeton Street Fair. And while it wasn't quite time to bring back the street fair just yet, we're going to celebrate Princeton in a different kind of way today. We'll honor and celebrate some of the vibrant people, places, and attractions that make Princeton, West Virginia a wonderful place to live. Now, I'm so grateful to be coming to you from an alive and an active downtown. Looking back on this past year, I remember standing in this very spot and feeling so bittersweet. It's like I could feel the ghost of what we'd all created down here, and it was so poignant to feel like it could all be slipping away. I'm just wondering if it would all be here for us on the other side. And now here we are, emerging back into life again, and it feels like the energy is just picking up where we left off. And while we're definitely not in the clear just yet, I'm just so grateful to be able to enjoy life once again and celebrate this wonderful community with you today. We're going to meet all kinds of wonderful people doing all kinds of wonderful things around this town. So you just kick back, relax, and enjoy. Let's celebrate Princeton. Throughout this broadcast, you're going to hear performances by talented artists from right here in our local community. They were recorded in the room upstairs right here in the Mercer Street Grassroots District. This is Jada Palmer and her original song, Dreaming Child.
Daydreaming of a better world. I've been daydreaming of a better me. Can't you see? Lost in, I am lost in my own reality. Hoping one day I'll I'm just a dreaming. Used to walk around town with my head hanging down like I had no clue which way was up. But now I'm feeling that breeze, yeah, I feel so free. I'm dreaming and I can't get enough. Has the sky grown new stars? Have I lost all my scars? I can barely see what's in front of me. But as I travel down that road, hoping one day I'll find hope, I will be able to see that I've been dreaming of what could be. Cause I've been daydreaming of a better world. I've been daydreaming of a better me. Can't you see? Oh, I've been lost in my own reality. Hoping one day I'll open my eyes and I'll start seeing what I believe. For now I'm just dreaming. Oh, I'm just dreaming, just a dreaming child. For now I'm just dreaming.
So right now, I'm going to take you inside the Appalachian Coffee House, where some talented artists are creating downtown's newest mural that celebrates the vibrant history of our beloved Mercer Street. Let's go inside.
Hi, I'm Lacey Valandry, and I am leading the historic mural project going into the historic district. It's depicting Princeton at its many different times of greatness, I guess. All of the high points and the things that people look fondly over when they think about Mercer Street. So this mural was designed by Ellen Elms after listening to several stories of the community, and she based the entire design around the different themes that kept on coming up. Today we are having our second big community paint day, and we're using it to celebrate Princeton and to gather together and allow people to really figure out what's going on.
Okay, so I'm really excited because I'm painting what was the Levon Theater, now the Renaissance Theater. So I am doing some of that, and I'm excited because it's paint by numbers. Because I grew up painting by numbers, and so this is fun. This is easy to do. Well, so it was funny because I was watching a TV program the other night, and they said how important murals were to a small town, how important murals were. And this town certainly has murals, and this is, I'm just excited that at one point I can go and see this hanging on the side of a building and say, I painted that, that's, I did that. So, so that's exciting to see.
Well, I basically grew up, at Stages. Been there since I was like 4, and it's definitely changed a lot. I think it used to look more like I don't know, like kind of more run down. But now there's so many murals and everything. I just brought it back to life and brought colors into it. Art class at school really like brought me out of my shell, I guess. And we did like oil painting, sculptures, just different things like that. I don't know, it was very gradual, and so I was like I'd see a mural here and there, or see a new shop, like a cool shop that looked interesting, and I was just like, oh wow, I didn't know that was there. And I think stuff has started popping up like a lot more recently, and it's just cool to watch it.
I had the privilege of meeting Ellen Elms, and I was actually in the middle of reading her biography, The Pathways to Art, and found out about this project and said I wanted to be a part of it. I think that art is the one thing that brings us all to life. It's the one thing that's not sterile, and it's a connection with nature, a connection with our soul. It's soul work.
So I am painting a portion of the mural that shows the history of Mercer Street that will be going on a wall in the historic district. And just trying to stay between the lines here on this ginormous paint by number. So because I am leading the project to renovate the theater, everything that goes on down here is incredibly important. Bringing people together, showing them how much this area has to offer is just vitally important, and I want to be a part of all of it. I hope that others will also come and join the fun and the spirit and community of all of the work that we're doing down here.
So it's so much fun to look back and reminisce about the heyday of Mercer Street. Well, right now, there is a brand new scene that has taken hold of downtown Princeton. It's a spirit of entrepreneurship, and this is just the beginning. So right now, we're going to celebrate some of the businesses and attractions that make up downtown Princeton today. This is the new good old days.
Princeton, West Virginia's downtown district embodies authentic Appalachia, embracing our homegrown heritage to provide a destination experience worthy of a weekday, a weekend, or even a lifetime. Drawing momentum from our bootstrap determination, a grassroots revival is unfolding, transforming this place with a sheer force of will, resolved to make an impact. Key movements are cultivating progress to create an environment where investment is germinating and business is blossoming, thanks to pioneering spirits sinking roots on Mercer Street. Our enthusiasm is drawing inspiration from the traditions of our past to help nurture a new nostalgia for downtown Princeton. Commercial vitality is branching out as new vendors crop up, joining stalwart businesses to reinvigorate and redefine the area. A fresh sound is pulsing the window panes, where bluegrass and funk come to appreciate a common storyline inspired by grit and resilience. As locals harness their talents, we see a fresh future emerging based on the pride of craftsmanship passed down through generations. Welcome to the Mercer Street Grassroots District, where craft, culture, and commerce come to thrive. Even through the downturn of Mercer Street, some businesses stuck it out through and through. Associated Photography has been in business for over 30 years. Founded by the talented photographer Steve Jesse, they offer matting, framing, camera supplies and equipment, and a beautiful gallery of Steve's work. He also has a camera club and loves to share his skills. Steve is really good at Photoshop. In fact, he sweeps competitions regularly. There are blue ribbons all over the place. Lately, Steve has been offering classes in Photoshop and other techniques so that he can pass on his skills to others. The Hatter's Bookshop is owned by Tammy Dawn Dotson. She's a lover of literature and an absolutely fantastic woman. She pours such heart and soul into this bookshop, and it's just a wonderland of books. This historic building is packed wall to wall. Tammy hosts book signings and all kinds of literature events and really just creates a community around this bookstore. You can shop in person or order online. So we were all so grateful when Appalachian Coffee House opened on the block. It's that coffee shop we'd always waited for, that spot where everyone meets up and all this joyous activity takes place. They have delicious lattes, cappuccinos, teas, and smoothies, and some great pastries like scones, cookies, and cakes. In pre-pandemic times, they hosted live music and special events, and it won't be long until all of that returns. Joni Bailey realized her dream when she opened up the Gaia Den Yoga and Healing Art Studio in the historic district of Mercer Street. She does all kinds of yoga and meditation workshops and has just really opened up a sacred space for people to explore their spirituality. She also has all kinds of retail goodies like tapestries, jewelry, candles, and incense. Another example of a dream realized is Bucha Brewhouse and Bistro. A young lady named Kayla had always dreamt of brewing kombucha tea and establishing a restaurant around it with local fresh food, and her restaurant is absolutely amazing. Hammer and Stain is a do-it-yourself woodworking shop. It's such a fun and creative atmosphere. You can spend a day or an evening creating a personalized craft that you can take home with you. There's noodle boards and wall hangings and flower pots, so many fun items to choose from, and anyone can do it. During the shutdown, they offered Hammer at Home kits, and they still offer those, but now they're back in action with their live workshops, and that is awesome. We love this creative business. We were so lucky to get Mercer County's first brewery in our neighborhood, Sophisticated Town Brewing Company. They distribute to the entire state and restaurants all around the area. They also have their own tap room where they showcase their own craft beer, along with special guest taps for other West Virginia breweries. They serve delicious pizza, sandwiches, and salads, and they have great live music on the weekends. They never missed a beat during the shutdown. During quarantine, people lined up on the sidewalk to fill their growlers and get takeout. The Hound is back into full operation now, and you should definitely come for a visit. Everyone was so excited when Blue Ridge Bee Company opened its doors. Now, they have the mission to help people keep bees and help cut down on the amount that we lose in West Virginia each year. Now, they sell all the supplies, including the vaporizer that the owners engineered to help keep mites away from the hives. Now, their beautiful general store is stocked full of honey, farm-fresh products, delicious ice cream, and all kinds of West Virginia-made products like stained glass, pottery, and specialty foods. Now, they've been essential during this crisis, providing our community with delicious local foods as well as beekeeping supplies. Appalachian Artistic Adventures is a paint-your-own pottery shop, and it's also a lot more. You can go in and choose your own adventure, work on any creative project you want while you're there. They have paint and sip nights with guided canvas workshops, pet rock craft-alongs, and some really unique retail items for you to shop. It's a great space for birthday parties, and they offer take-home kits with almost any item you can think of to paint. Holler Gallery is located in a historic bank building, beautifully renovated to house this gorgeous show space. They host one-person exhibits and theme shows for Appalachian artists, and the space is designed really well for gatherings and meet and greets. They showcase a variety of media from sculpture to watercolor, fiber arts, oils and acrylics, digital photography, and more. They're known for presenting stunning and thought-provoking work. Their doors are once again open on the weekends, and we're so excited to see what's in store for our blossoming art scene as we emerge from all of this. So Totally Glazed Donut Shop has landed in the Grassroots District, and it is sweet. They took time amidst the shutdown to get their recipe just right, and they have re-emerged with the most delicious and fluffy donuts. From standard glazed to maple bacon to strawberry filled, and so many delicious creative points in between. You can also get any flavor as a pile of donut bites with glaze and frosting on top. It is absolutely decadent. Make sure to stop in early though, they are known for selling out. Yum. Warehouse Clothing Company offers a full line of embroidery, screen printing, vinyl work, and fully customizable work for any occasion. You name it, they can customize it. They also have a dizzying number of gifts, from colorful umbrellas to West Virginia branded jewelry to licensed Disney products to Life is Good t-shirts. I'm always struck by how much there is to explore in this shop. It is a great stop for a unique gift. We also have several wonderful thrift stores, beauty salons, and tattoo parlors. What a wonderful and vibrant downtown business community. We're going to start our exploration today here at the Riff Raff Arts Collective, our home. We're standing in the Riff Raff Art Boutique, which is located at 869 Mercer Street. Now, our journey all started with Culture Fest World Music and Arts Festival, which we founded in 2004. Now, the goal of the festival is to promote unity and respect for diversity. It's a beautiful weekend-long oasis of creativity that features about 30 music and dance performances on 3 stages throughout the weekend. There's workshops and artists and vendors, fire dancers, and people on stilts and giant telescopes, and the whole event is just a peaceful, joyous experience that inspires wonder and awe. We like for people to feel like they're stepping outside of the world out there for one weekend, and we all get to co-create a world the way that we wish that it could be. Culture Fest takes place every year in September, the weekend after Labor Day. Last year, we created a live broadcast to mark the tradition, and we're looking at one more virtual before we return with a new and improved live experience in 2022. Everyone's going to be so happy to return to that mountaintop. So we knew we wanted that special spirit of Culture Fest, what we all created together to last year-round. In 2006, we planted roots here in this historic structure in downtown Princeton, where we started the Riff Raff Arts Collective. Now, here in the Riff Raff Art Boutique, there are about 40 artisans that show here, from potters to painters, sculptors, and soap makers. And I had a friend come in here recently, and they said something that really struck me. He said, "Lori, it's like you've curated people's souls on these walls. It's like their core essence is expressed here." That really struck me, and I think that that is what people have in common here. There's this deep drive to express, and what I hope is that the people who show here and who come to the Riff Raff feel empowered to express that core essence of their spirit. We're so grateful to have the room upstairs. It's an amazing space, and this building was built in 1900, and the room upstairs has pressed tin ceilings and beautiful hardwood floors. Some say it used to be a ballroom. It was a theater at one point and a mason hall, and now it's just embodied with all types of creative expression. Every Monday night we have open stage night. There's poetry and dance and all kinds of musicians, and the regularity and fellowship of us gathering weekly is what keeps our creative community glued together. We have concerts on Friday evenings. We've really intentional about curating a very eclectic lineup. We like to bring performances in that people might not have had access to in the past, and just kind of introduce new flavors, new ideas, and ways to see the world through our performance lineup. We're really grateful to be able to provide that regular creative opportunity for people in our community. This past year, of course, we've been focused on virtual programming. We featured some open stage nights as well as a virtual concert series called Live in the Room Upstairs, featuring shows from our archives. We do plan to move into the future with a hybrid version of this and live stream as many of our live events as possible from this point forward. So in 2008, my amazing sister Melissa moved home from North Carolina and established Stages Music School. It was at that point that there was just an acceleration of what had become this just natural arts district, and the streets were just filled with all these amazing creative kids coming to Stages to take their music lessons, and it's just unreal. She's like a magnet for remarkable talent. These kids turn into rock stars, and just all these incredible musicians, you know, toddlers all the way up to senior citizens, kind of honing their skills at Stages. So it creates this nice sort of rich music community that we all get to share.
Hello, Hello, I am Melissa with Stages Music School and the One Voice Project. So Stages offers private and group lessons for guitar, piano, vocal, ukulele, violin, bass, drums, brass instruments, songwriting, and even music theory. We offer traditional lessons for a student who would like to focus on note reading and theory and technique, but we also offer a more non-traditional approach that attracts a lot of interest from a lot of our students. I guess what I'm most proud of is our One Voice programming. The One Voice Project provides kids, teens, and young adults with opportunities to make a difference in the world through their music. This multifaceted program offers performance opportunities, training and education programs, along with a serious concentration in civic involvement. Young artists participate in workshops and help organize, promote, and participate in concerts to raise money and awareness for charities, for organizations locally and regionally.
They created a beautiful virtual tour this past year. You can find their online content at theonevoiceproject.com.
So once we had this sort of critical mass of creative people in the neighborhood, we all just knew inherently that we wanted to paint the town. We had the opportunity to work with some incredible artists to facilitate 8 very large public works of art, a lot of which you're seeing in the shots today in the intros and the outros of the various segments. We also have Artist Alley, which is a 22-mural project, which was as much about the experience of fellowship that the artists shared as it was about the physical product.
And even through quarantine, we saw so many people walking around taking pictures and enjoying the vibrancy. We're currently working on a brand new mural which honors the history of Mercer Street, and anyone in the community is invited to come and get involved.
So there are also several annual events that we produce that everyone comes together to co-create. We love providing experiences for our community that are a cut above what they expected, and also colorful experiences that people may never have had before, like acrobats flipping from silks in the street during our street fair, like ice sculptors, fire dancers, and stilt walkers on New Year's Eve at our downtown countdown. When the ball drop and those fireworks go off at midnight, there's such a joyous atmosphere in the air, and people are truly excited to be alive in our hometown of Princeton, West Virginia. These events have also been like beacons and have attracted other creative people to come and join us. We love our creative neighborhood.
We've loved producing these online broadcasts for each of the events, and we're excited to be stepping back into some live events. Please join us for First Friday concerts in the park, May through October in Town Square from 5 to 8 p.m. And stay tuned for announcements. We'll be bringing back all these special events one by one.
So even through the downturn of Mercer Street, some businesses stuck it out through and through. Associated Photography has been in business for over 30 years. Founded by the talented photographer Steve Jesse, they offer matting and framing, camera supplies and equipment, a beautiful gallery with Steve's work. He also has a camera club, and he loves to share his skills. Steve is really, really good at Photoshop. In fact, he sweeps competitions regularly. There are blue ribbons all over the place. Lately, Steve has been offering classes in Photoshop and other techniques so that he can pass on his skills to others.
The Hatter's Bookshop is owned by Tammy Dawn Dotson. She's a lover of literature and an absolutely fantastic woman. She pours such heart and soul into this bookshop, and it's just a wonderland of books. This historic building is packed wall to wall. Tammy hosts book signings and all kinds of literature events and really just creates a community around this bookstore. You can shop in person or order online.
We were all so grateful when Appalachian Coffee House opened up on the block. It's that coffee house that we'd always waited for, that spot where everyone meets up and all this joyous activity takes place. And as our neighborhood blossoms, you can just feel this really special energy in the air at the coffee house. A lot of the baristas are students at the music school and a big part of the music scene, so that's really cool. They've been hosting live music events and poetry nights. They closed down for a few weeks during the shutdown, but quickly adapted with curbside, and now they're fully back in action, and live events should resume soon.
So our good friend Joni, who's been a big part of the creative scene, realized her dream when she opened up the Gaia Den Yoga and Healing Art Studio in the historic district of Mercer Street. She does all kinds of beautiful yoga and meditation classes and has just really opened up a space, a sacred space for people to explore their spirituality. Another example of a dream realized is Bucha Brewhouse and Bistro. A young lady named Kayla had always dreamt of brewing kombucha tea and establishing a restaurant around it with local fresh food, and her restaurant is absolutely amazing. She took a hiatus amidst the shutdown and recently opened her doors, and she is absolutely killing it. You've got to come and try this place. Hammer and Stain is a do-it-yourself woodworking shop. It's such a fun and creative atmosphere. You can spend a day or an evening creating a personalized craft that you can take home with you. There's noodle boards and wall hangings and flower pots, so many fun items to choose from, and anyone can do it. During the shutdown, they offered Hammer at Home kits, and they still offer those, but now they're back in action with their live workshops, and that is awesome. We love this creative business. We were so lucky to get Mercer County's first brewery right here in our neighborhood, Sophisticated Hound Brewing Company. They distribute to the entire state and restaurants all around the area. They also have their own tap room where they showcase their craft beer along with guest taps for other West Virginia breweries. They serve delicious pizza, sandwiches, and salads, and they have some great live music on the weekends. During quarantine, people lined up on the sidewalk to fill their growlers and get takeout. The Hound is back into full operation now, and you should definitely come for a visit. We were all so excited when Blue Ridge Bee Company opened its doors. They have the mission to help people keep bees and cut down on the amount that we lose in West Virginia each year. They sell all the supplies, including the vaporizer that the owners engineered to keep mites away from the hives. Now, their beautiful general store is stocked with honey, farm fresh products, delicious ice cream, and all kinds of West Virginia made products like stained glass, pottery, and specialty foods. Now, they've been essential amidst this crisis, providing our community with delicious local foods as well as beekeeping supplies. I love looking out my window and seeing first-time beekeepers trying on their suits and intercepting their boxes while honeybees swarm around them. Appalachian Artistic Adventures is a paint-your-own pottery shop, and it's also a lot more. You can go in and choose your own adventure, work on any creative project you want while you're there. They have paint and sip nights with guided canvas workshops, pet rock craft alongs, and some really unique retail items for you to shop. It's a great space for birthday parties, and they offer take-home kits with almost any item you can think of to paint. Holler Gallery is located in a historic bank building, beautifully renovated to house this gorgeous show space. They host one-person exhibits and theme shows for Appalachian artists, and the space is designed really well for gatherings and meet and greets. Now, they showcase a variety of media from sculpture, watercolor, fiber arts, oils and acrylics, digital photography, and more. They're known for presenting stunning and thought-provoking work. Their doors are once again open on the weekends, and we're so excited to see what's in store for our blossoming arts scene as we emerge from all of this. And that was a little taste of some of the creative businesses in our blossoming neighborhood here in the Mercer Street Grassroots District.
Well, a couple of years ago, probably about 5 years ago, I had been trying to complete my collection of G.I. Joes, and I was going online to like those Facebook groups and things and ordering the figures that I needed to complete, and it was just seemed like it was so easy just to sell stuff online. So I kind of just got it in my head, well, I would get stuff that I didn't need, and then I would actually go and try to sell it, sell it online. So I started selling stuff online, had an eBay page, started selling things, started doing shows, and then it just all kind of, I've always wanted to have a physical location here, so kind of just everything was in the works and all the planets aligned and it happened. But basically I just want this store to be a place where kids can come and do like we did when we were kids. One of the things we always did on a usually on a Saturday is we took our allowance money and we got to go to the store and got to pick out a toy. So that's definitely what I want that experience to be like here. I started collecting when I was probably about 6. I had my first toy was a Transformer. I still have it, and I actually keep it here as a reminder, because it's one of those things, like, you eliminate something in somebody's life, what would happen? Well, if you eliminate that piece, this probably wouldn't be here. So, but I've always enjoyed toys and cartoons and those kind of things. So, and I'm a child of the 80s, so, you know, kind of works. I have a specific child that comes in every Saturday without fail. He brings his allowance and he buys a wrestler every Saturday. So, you know, to me that means I've succeeded, because that's what, again, like what I did when I was little. And, you know, there are kids that are begging their parents to bring them to the toy store, and that's what I want. That's because, you know, a lot of our kids nowadays are all hooked on these devices and things, but it's nice to see that there are still some kids that appreciate the collecting aspect as well as the toy aspect of it. So.
We have personally had the bookstore for 4 years. We sell used books. We also sell incense, local art, handmade jewelry, and we just enjoy being a part of the community. That's as much as anything. Well, I needed something to do with my life. I'd had a lot of personal changes, and I'd had to retire early due to health, and I needed something to do that wasn't overtaxing. And some days it can get there though, but the store came up for sale by the previous owners, and I got in touch with them, and I gave it a lot of thought, and I said, yeah, I do want to own a bookstore. I do want to do this for, you know, and when I first started out, I said I'd do it at least for 5 years, and we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary here next month, so we've hung in there. The local community are very pleased that we kept the bookstore open, very pleased. You know, I have regulars who come in every week, and you get to know them, and we are a part of the community, and knowing the individuals who live here, you know, it broadened my perspective on things about Princeton. And we've been very blessed with having out-of-town travelers come through, and some people make it a yearly visit now. You know, I recognize faces from every summer, and they say that they plan on stopping here in Princeton because not only of the bookstore, but of the other little businesses that have opened up here downtown. So that makes me feel really good about what we're doing here. From the time I was a very small child, my dad read to me on his lap every evening. It was our routine, and I learned to read before I ever started school because of that time that he and I shared together. And every time I hold a book in my hands, I can't help but go back to think about him. So I think of him every day, and my mother too, don't misunderstand. But my dad was the one who took the time to read to me. And he just instilled in me that love of books. And when he was home in the evenings, you know, and especially as he grew older and retired, you would see him reading, especially the Bible. He read the Bible through 14 times. So that's someone who really wanted to study and learn from it, but he also enjoyed reading it aloud to my mother. And my mother could read, but she liked to listen to him read about it, you know, read the stories as well. So it's just, it comes from family, and I feel like downtown is becoming a family, and it's all just a wonderful way for things to kind of tie together.
So the building we're in, this is going to be the home for Daydream Games. And what we'll be doing here is tabletop gameplay. So we'll have a lot of different types of nights. Locally, there's a lot of enthusiasm about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic tournaments, and of course we'll have those on the weekend, but also one of the things I'm excited about is having a place where people can come and do game design. So we'll have a prototype night and encourage people to be creative and actually design games. We'll have an antique / gift section here, and then over here will be comic books. And so we have a little bit of work to do. We're not quite there yet. I don't know if you can see the other side of the store, but we have some tables set up right now. So along this wall, once we get all that cleared out, I've got some custom tables being built that are 7 feet long, and they're going to be stacked up there with these chairs, and that's where the main game play area will be. Right now we have these set out for just these special invite events we've been doing, because there's some people that just can't wait to play a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. So we've had these really small events where we've just been special invite playing. And then the little cubbies you see, those are actually originally booth seating when this was a restaurant. That'll stay retail, and we'll have a bunch of games and stuff in there. This is my latest game that I've designed along with gentleman Ryan Smith, and this is Burst My Bubble. It's a great game, has a lot of strategy in it, but on purpose there's no dark tones in it. So we actually designed the game to be for families.
It's nice to see that Dan's rolling around and starting up a store here, and I'll get to be a part of that experience too, because some people will come in to our little tournament nights that we'll do sometimes, and they'll talk about all the stuff they did that was fun at Crit Hit, and it's cool to think that we'll be a part of those stories that people tell eventually too. That's cool.
And I love West Virginia. I love the mountains, I love the climate, I love the people, and so this is home now. And it's of course where I met my beautiful wife, and we have a wonderful daughter. This is my wife Deidre and Violet, and so we have this is our home, and this is where my family is. So, and West Virginia pride is in my heart. I love it here.
Well, the staff is fantastic. Everybody is very devoted, and they contribute in their own way to the success of the library. And without everybody, we wouldn't have what we have, especially during the shutdown time. The community is incredibly responsive. We have a lot of the same people that attend, but we also have people that attend outside of that realm and even outside of the city. So we have really great feedback from those in the community. I think much more than books, which is the original need for libraries, with books and resources and an information hub just to get the paper resources. Now, now it's becoming more of a virtual hub, but also before that, the biggest attribute that we had was our programs. So whether it's children's programming or historical programming aimed towards adults, art programming, story times, which we do twice a week regularly. I think all of them are very influential to those in the community, and we have a little bit of something for everybody.
I'm Miss Laura, as I tell all the kids, Laura Buchanan, and I'm over the youth services downstairs. Mainly I do the story time and the teen programs. Yeah. Well, when we were in person, we do story times. We have a little craft geared based on the story that we do. We incorporate teen programs such as Dungeons and Dragons, which we just started. I was a huge fan of that. We have a teen zone where they can come and hang out and offer snacks there. And then we just try to come up with other ideas like making slime, just various things that we think the kids will like. Now that we're online, it has been really just stretching it out and trying to get creative. So I do the virtual story times twice a week. We put together little craft packets for the kids, just trying to interact with them. And on our Instagram page, I still try to kind of reach out to the teenagers. So I do little polls and crafts there. I was reading to them. I'm getting ready to start Dr. Dolittle over there. So just trying to keep engaging with them.
So, local artist Amy Williams actually donated this painting to us when she had closed down her local studio. I think it is a great addition to the library, and we decided to hang it right up here, so as soon as you come in, which the majority of the people come through our parking lot door, then they can see it, and it adds a beautiful splash of color to the wall. We do have a lot of great feedback, but in the future I hope that we have even more, and I hope that more people participate and aren't afraid to get out there and aren't afraid to involve their children in the things that there are to do around this community. More than anything, I hope that numbers go up, and I hope we see more people walking down the streets and more people coming in the library.
Tune in every Monday for Japanese Word of the Week. Today's phrase is 我らの地域を祝う. 我らの地域を祝う means celebrate our community in Japanese. 我らの地域を祝う. Celebrate our community.
My name is Kayla Allred. We're sitting in Bucha Brewhouse and Bistro. We actually just got reopened after a little bit of a hiatus. We serve different things like kombucha as our signature thing, and we also serve like house-made pasta and salads and soups and paninis made on house-made bread. I have been working on opening Bucha for actually probably like 6 years. It's been in the back of my head, and I've been working towards it and striving towards it and just learning as much as I can. Working in the industry, and then finally a couple years ago I got the chance to open it, and just keeps growing, and it's been wonderful to reopen. I get to see all my regulars and new customers, and then just for myself too, to be able to eat healthy and stuff like that, because it's really hard to find things around here. So it's been just amazing to be reopened. I'm really excited for the new year because I have a lot of new plans on stuff that I'm going to do. I'm wanting to start selling my kombucha in bottles and growlers. And really just working on a couple different recipes. I decided to open Bucha in the Grassroots District because, I mean, it is the Grassroots District. It's one of the most amazing places I've been to in West Virginia, and just the outpouring of support that you get here and just the love that you feel in this community is just amazing. I wouldn't have my business somewhere else.
We're located at 858 Mercer Street, Princeton, West Virginia. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Unless it's a major holiday, we'll be here. So, me and my wife have lived in Princeton in Mercer County for our whole life. We grew up here. You know, we moved away for a short period of time, but it drew us back in. So we live on a farm close to here, and the people are really genuine, you know, so we love serving the community and putting something in place inside of the community that really makes a big difference. You know, people come in here from all over West Virginia and surrounding states and tell us, you know, how this is something they would find off somewhere and never here, you know, they would never expect it to be here. So it's really cool that people can have a place like that to go and experience it, you know, and definitely it's very enjoyable to be a part of it. So pretty awesome. The flowers usually start to bloom as soon as the dandelion and the apple blossoms hit, and that's usually when the bees start to bring in nectar to turn into honey. The bees go out, they collect the nectar, they bring it back to the hive. You know, at that point it's really watered down, so they store it in the cells, and then they have bees fan their wings over top of the open cells with the nectar in it to turn it into honey. And this basically takes the water out of it once the bees, you know, put it in the cells. Then once the water content hits about 18%, they'll cap it over with wax, and then it's ready to be pulled. It'll go usually into a 5-gallon pail, and then we'll bring it here and put it through our bottling system and put, you know, the label on it, put it in the jar, and then it's ready to sell. So I like to think of it as an old country store, you know, that you would see like way back a long time ago. You walk in and we've got the old general store shelves and all the antiques on the wall that, you know, farmers and country people used back a long time ago. And then we try to keep products kind of from that same era, you know, things that you can't find like molasses and sorghum and honey, you know, from all over the U.S. and these different jam, jellies, pickles that the Amish make, you know, and we like working with them. They're really awesome to see kind of the old ways and how things are done, and they still use those techniques, you know, so that's kind of the way I like to see it. And our meat and produce, you know, comes from people that are local, and we try to help support the community as much as possible. So that's kind of our vision for it.
Lacey is about to spend an exciting day in downtown Princeton. You can tell she's a sharp shopper because she uses Honey Money.
With Honey Money, I can make a purchase from a Mercer Street business and get a sticker. After 7 purchases from at least 4 different businesses, I can redeem my Honey Money for either a delicious jar of honey from the Blue Ridge Bee Company or a sweet beverage from the Appalachian Coffee House. Honey Money is a real home run.
It has always been a dream to be able to have something that people can enjoy from sort of their own perspective. You know, when you go into a theater, it's open. You get told a story, but when you have something like this, that's this kind of a project, people can help come in and tell their own story. They can remember things about what they saw in the past. They can remember things where they are, and they'll hopefully be able to transcend a new message or a new vision for what they want to see for the future. I mean, that's what this whole thing was. It was an ability to look back at what something was in the past, figuring out how we're going to make it work for the now, and then what are we going to have for the generation to come. And you know, that's why we built the stage the way we did. That's why we're building the facility, you know, for the museum, for the Black Box Theater. That's why we're building it in that way, is because things aren't what they were. They are what they are right now, and we know what they can be. No, I want to have something to where when people come in, they have that same feeling that I had when I was a kid. You know, they have a downtown environment that is really fun and, you know, is inviting, and that people know each other and you wave to each other on the street. And when you walk in, you come to a place like this, you don't realize where you are. You kind of get transported into a place where it's fun, and you know, you see that same amount of light, and you see the show, and you're sitting in the audience, and you know, you've got this thrust stage, and you've got the curtain closed, and somebody comes out and greets you into the performance, even if it's a movie, and then the curtains open and the lights dim, and you realize that you've been transcended into something fun. And I think that's really what I want to see for everybody.
Since I started in March, we formed an advisory board of 7 great community members who all have a serious interest in seeing this project succeed. We also have been looking at a number of funding opportunities and should be able to secure a good amount of funding here in the next few weeks to get us started with construction again this summer. Our goal is to have this space operational before the end of the year. That may not necessarily mean that all sound equipment, all screen equipment, and all theater seats are here, but that the space would be operational to host events so we can continue to fundraise and finish everything. So that's kind of where we are right now. We have been working with Dream of Denver and Bob Spencer, who are on the advisory board, to add the Little Buddy radio satellite station as well as the Bob Denver Museum in this theater. And that's a super exciting addition to have to what we've already planned. So a lot is going to be taking place in the near future, and hopefully everything will take off so that the community can start to enjoy this space.
In this theater right now, I am in the process of wading in, not diving in quite yet, all of Bob's memorabilia, because we are going to have, this theater is going to house the Bob Denver Museum, which people have been talking to me about for at least 12 years. He passed away 16 years ago, so people have always said, you know, he was well known all over the world, and he loved Princeton, West Virginia. He loved West Virginia in general. He was so proud to be an adopted West Virginian. So recognizing his television career and his notoriety all over the world, knowing that he loved it here, is such a great thing to be able to do. So that's what I'm doing, and it is so, I'm running into things that I totally forgot I had. It's just a joy. It really is a joy, and it's going to make me really happy. Anything that honors Bob and his memory and our life together always gives me comfort and makes me feel joy. So that's what we're doing.
I am 20 years old. I was born and raised here in Mercer County. I'm a current student at Concord University, majoring in communications with emphases in public relations and theater. I will be graduating in December of this year. As we begin to build the Renaissance Players, we are looking at, of course, raising money, but also raising awareness for the Renaissance Theater throughout the community. And that could mean virtual shows or shows in other venues as we renovate the theater. But full realization of the Renaissance Players is that it would be a fully functioning community theater housed here in the Renaissance Theater. I feel like personally, when I was younger, I felt like I had this overwhelming amount of creativity that just needed to come out. I needed to express it, and I wasn't necessarily sure how. And then I found theater, and I saw that it not only had the acting side, but acting involves a variety of different methods and skills that I was able to use, such as singing and blocking and directing, set design, things such as that. And so I think that with the Renaissance Players, my hope is that we create that sanctuary for those individuals who felt like I did. And I have several colleagues who felt the same way, and I think theater was that sanctuary for them.
Well, you know, it's going to be really exciting because so many things are going to take place. We're going to be able to have it as a theater, as well as to show movies, but also to have live theater, which will be really good. And other things. We're going to have music entertainment. There'll be concerts on the stage and so forth. The concession stand's going to be really interesting. It's going to be quite pretty, and there will be a kitchen attached to the museum, so if there are small meetings there, they can have nice little meetings there. The theater, the museum is going to be kind of exciting because of the Little Buddy radio is going to be in the back section of it. And part of the museum is going to be dedicated to Bob Denver and some of the history of all the things that he's gone through. And then we're a little bit of Princeton memories too. So I think it's going to be a nice gathering place. It certainly is the center of the town. It's going to be a nice backdrop for all our other activities, I think.
So every now and again, a journalist comes along that just gets it. They have the vision to see what's happening, the heart to care, and an ability to tell the story beautifully. Joshua Bolden of WVVA created a beautiful 3-part series called Princeton Renaissance, Vacant to Vibrant, about the journey of Mercer Street. We're going to enjoy that 3-part series right now.
When it comes to memories of Mercer Street, you get very different and varying stories, and it all depends on the years you grew up here. In my special report, Princeton Renaissance from Vacant to Vibrant, we take a look at Mercer Street's journey from the hustling and bustling beginnings to a period of stagnation and the grassroots group of businesses that have brought about its revitalization. Longtime residents of Princeton will tell you, in their youth, Mercer Street was the place to be.
When you went to town for the day and done what you need to do before you went home, yes.
We met up with local historian Lois Miller at the Mercer County Historical Society, which sits in one of the oldest homes in Princeton.
When I was a child, and we came to town, and we went to several of the stores that were on Mercer Street, and nearly every building was filled with something different. The streets were full. In the video that I had of the street, you could see the people. I mean, they were just up and down. That's the way it was every Saturday. My grandmother, they used to come to town with a Model T and set up in the middle of the town and sell their vegetables from the garden. Food stores. There was Western Auto, Santon's, Leggett's, G.C. Murphy. When you went there, it was 3 floors. You could find anything you wanted, from fish to boots.
Lori McKinney is the owner of the Riff Raff Arts Collective.
Sometimes people will say, well, I don't know about all this new creative stuff that's happening. Why can't it be like it used to be? Or I remember shopping here, but what about all these artists and musicians and this new stuff? But that's not new. There are artists and musicians and writers, potters and painters that have inhabited these buildings for the century.
People didn't buy things then like that we have nowadays. We have too much choice in things, but if you needed material to make your own children's clothes, then you went to a certain store.
And you did not just come to Mercer Street to shop.
A bunch of us could remember cruising the Strip, and that was social media for us. We didn't have cell phones, we didn't have any of that stuff, but we got a chance to see each other on a Friday and Saturday night in a very social setting, and it brought people downtown.
Oh yeah, if you had a new DeSoto, you were going down the street. You were going to show that car off,
But as residents recall, somewhere along the line, Mercer Street shifted gears.
They had fires in some of the buildings. We lost some of the buildings. Some disrepair had to be torn down. It's sad for me as a historian to see any building go down.
We had a negative element here. We had some drug issues, some prostitution issues.
However, as new businesses arrive, these champions of Mercer Street are seeing a positive shift.
If you have something that someone is looking for, or something someone likes, people will go back and visit, stuff like that.
And over time, I think the community kept coming downtown. They wanted to see more. Well, as they kept coming downtown, that negative element gradually moved itself out.
That's the main drag right there. The main drag ain't on Stafford Drive, the main Oakville Road, it's Mercer Street.
Yeah, music and art are vehicles for change, and we can use it to impact the world around us.
Lori McKinney is impacting the world of Mercer Street. She was one of the first businesses to set up shop under the Princeton Renaissance Project.
Interesting, back when I was a kid growing up around here, driving down Mercer Street, I never even looked up. I just kind of had my head in the zone and never really pondered, downtown. Downtown wasn't really a part of my life growing up here in the 90s. And after I had traveled and became so enamored with life and the culture in Europe and, seeing all this beautiful architecture. And once I was home, I remember driving down Mercer Street and something clicked.
But that dream did not come without some heavy lifting.
There was about 80% vacancy on Mercer Street at that time. 2006 was when we were starting to look. This building was a diamond in the rough, but I didn't see it at first. I just saw a rundown building. It was a mess. It was not just an eyesore. It was kind of shrouded in, there was just negative energy. We climbed the stairs and entered into this room. And I was like, wow.
I had no idea that a space like this existed here in downtown Princeton. I saw the wood floors and I saw a dance studio. And Robert said, this is a theater.
Mix the vision with some elbow grease from Lori's dad and her husband, Robert. The venue is home to vocal, instrumental, and poetic performances.
It's always an opportunity to get a little bit of critiquing. It's just a chance for me to present my new music and do it in a space that's not super judgmental.
Many of the artists showcased here get their artistic bearings from Stages Music School, run by Lori's sister, Melissa McKinney.
And I see the kids on the stage and watch them grow up. You know, I've seen them from toddlers with guitars bigger than them to, you know, rock stars that are like traveling the East Coast.
Some of these artists have made their way onto the national stage, but it all started here in the heart of Mercer County.
Learn something new and listen to different music, because some of the stuff is not stuff that I would listen to on my own usually. So it's definitely helped me grow as an artist, and it's made me appreciate community more, because this community is very close-knit and they're very supportive of everything that you do.
While the sounds from the room upstairs are luring ears to Mercer Street, there is something brewing that's keeping foot traffic here as well.
It's just a breath of fresh air to have that awesome coffee shop, because it has been the glue. And it's funny, things accelerated when the coffee shop got here because of the connectivity and because of the caffeine.
If you physically change the environment, the culture of the environment will change with it.
To create that change, Greg Puckett with the nonprofit Community Connections says these things were necessary.
Number one was a coffee shop. You know, it's a gathering place. It's somewhere where people can come and get a good cup of joe and just enjoy. And the other was a microbrewery. We said, you know, that's going to change the dynamic. You know, this is not a bar.
This building came open about 1.5 years ago, so we renovated it. Took about 10.5 months. I adopted a racing greyhound, and that's where the name came from.
Matt Burnett is the owner of Sophisticated Hound Brewing Company, and it has been open just over a year.
We do everything by hand. We weigh by hand, we put water in by hand. You call it babysitting pretty much.
His passion for brew resonates with customers.
They find it really neat to be able to come into town and find something like this away from the chain restaurants. And we tell people, you know, that are traveling all the time, that when you get off of 77, just don't stop at 77. Come into the town and explore.
The whole purpose of this was to allow, when people come through the door, for them to feel like they're part of it. Even if it's your first time in here, we want you to leave with a smile on your face.
Explore long enough and you'll find many of these small businesses work in tandem.
We do what's called collaboration with a lot of our businesses. For example, the bee store that's getting ready to go in across the street, we get a lot of our honey for our beers from him.
So I started keeping bees about 6 years ago. I've always had a passion to keep them and just to learn about them. You know, it's a really tough hobby, but if you can kind of get through the tough times, it's really awesome and rewarding.
The hobby is now a business.
We found this building for a really good price and it was in really bad shape. And I was like, man, I'd love to have that store. And I brought my wife in and the ceilings were really tall and it was just old, you know, and we knew that it had history on Mercer Street. And we knew that we wanted to save it.
For Will and his wife, it is now blossoming into more than expected.
We were like, holy cow, what are we going to do with the other, 2,000 square feet of this building? And then we kind of I convinced my wife little by little to keep adding more and more. We want to offer people local products. We're working with the vocational school and the FFA there, people all around the state to bring in products from West Virginia. Kind of like an old general store. We're going to sell all different types of honey, meat, produce, ice cream, of course, and then all the bee supplies, that are required to keep bees. So.
He says his neighbors have been extremely helpful.
Yeah, Lori's been a staple to trying to get it all put together,
A lot of people remember, they get nostalgic for the past. They think about the good old days on Mercer Street, and I imagine that in a couple of decades from now, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia for this time period, and this is like the new good old days.
Someone recently told me the only way we can grow as a community is if we appreciate what we have. So hopefully you like something you saw there. You'll support local and pour into it. After all, a flower only blooms if you nourish it.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace Campbell, and today I'm going to be presenting my new original song, Come Along. nervous to go. This will be the first time I've lived by myself, the first of all my houses to go. Maybe my friends will be there, maybe someone else can come along. I'm planning on seeing the world, I'll go far and wide. I want to have ups and downs and inside outs. Let's see what adventure I find. Maybe my friends will be there, maybe someone else can come along. My bucket list is 1,000 pages long. I'm scared I won't get it all done. When it comes to the end, I can promise that I will be second to none. I want to meet all sorts of people. I want to smile, laugh, and cry. Be the first time I've loved someone else. I can't wait to see what that's like. Maybe my friends will be there, maybe someone else will come along. This is the life I lead. I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that. And if I stay as me, each day will be better than the last. Better than the last. Maybe my friends will be there, maybe someone else can come along. And I said, maybe my friends will be there, maybe someone else can come along.
So as anticipated, the energy of the downtown development is expanding. There are some wonderful people making some incredible investment right here in this next stretch of town. We all consider this to be the next frontier of the Grassroots District. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Paula King, and I'm the owner of 1123 Mercer Street, and this is the future home of our event center that's coming. When this space is finished, it's going to function as all things space is what I like to call it. It'll be able to be used for meetings. I know we have a need for a business meeting, and I'm hoping to increase our business travel in this area, so I'll have a space available for people to rent out for meetings, for wedding receptions, just local community events. So it's for also our church next door. They use it for their dining facility as well. So and they've been here for years. So I collaborated with the church next door to make sure, and that's New Life Vision Center, to make sure that they would still have this space available for dining for their church members. So that's some of the things that it's going to be able to be used for. So for this stretch of town, I like to call it the new frontier of the Grassroots District, because we all know if you've written down Mercer Street, we have a beautiful Grassroots District that's thriving and that's beautiful, and so it just inspired us as owners, property owners, to just go ahead and invest in this street to help bring the vibe down to this end of town. And so I love that we have a doctor's office on this stretch, as well as some other nail shops and hair salons that's moving in down here. So because I think the Grassroots District has ran out of space almost, it's definitely inspired us to keep moving the energy to this part of town. And so I'm really excited for what's coming, and I just can't wait to continue to be a part of all the energy and life that's taking place on Mercer Street.
My name is Sharon Powell, and I'm the owner of Granny's Sewing Room. Well, the business is we do alterations, we sell material, just odds and ends for sewing and notions. What made me buy this shop was I had started taking a quilting class, and I just recently retired, and so quilting was one of the things that I really had on my bucket list. And so what I did was I was slipping in here buying material for my quilting class, and the store happened to come up for sale. And by me owning the building next door, I decided, well, I prayed about it, and I woke up one morning and I told my husband, I said, you know what? I've been in Granny's store all night. And so I came into the store that day, and just happened, Miss Margaret, she got to talking about that the store was for sale. And so next thing I know, we had a deal and the store was mine. So I was so excited. I really just couldn't believe, but that's how it all started. I'm just excited to be a part of Mercer Street coming alive, and that's really exciting to see, to ride up and down the street and see things are alive again. So, and I want to be a part of that.
Being close to the playground, being close to my granny's shop, and being close to the building, being close to my Aunt Terry's house, and also being close to the beef store to get ice cream. That's all.
Hi, I'm Darian, and this is Kristen. We wish that we could be playing at the real street fair tonight, but we're really excited to share a couple tunes with you guys. This one is called Cherry Wine by Hosier.
Of some other thrown at me so powerfully, just like she throws with the arm of a brother. But I warn her, it's a crime that she's not around most of the time. The way she shows me I'm hers, she's mine. Fist would be fine. The blood is rare and sweet as cherry wine. Fiery, oh, but she burns like sleep to the freezing. Hard and fast and angry as she can be, I'm washed in the tide of her breathing. And it's worth it, it's divine. And I have this some of the time. The way she shows me I'm hers and she's mine.
Like so many of you, I love visiting the Mercer Street Historic District. This entire stretch of buildings is listed on the National Registry for Historic Places, and this is where it all began. With the beautiful Princeton Railroad Museum paying tribute to our storied railroad history, several new businesses planting roots in these historic structures, and some very special projects about to emerge, this stretch of town has a bright future ahead. Right now, we're going to meet some businesses and attractions that call Mercer Street Historic District their home.
Well, it was kind of a serendipitous, mushy love story, really. It began when Cecilia and I met back in November of 2014, and we just fell head over heels after meeting, and the name was probably the mushiest part. I related our meeting to kind of some stellar stuff. A Carl Sagan quote was thrown in there. And that's kind of where the name Starry Eyes came from in a really weird way. So I would say our keystone service is brand development. It's something that I personally hold dear because it involves logo design. And that's kind of one of the key things people think of when they hear branding. They think of logos. And while that is a service we've offered over the years, kind of the evolution of our services, our brand development particularly, has been to not just focus on the logo design, because there's a lot of other aspects with branding. Brand insights is one of the 4 major categories that we consider under brand development. So with the historic district, it has obviously a lot of history, a lot of really neat memories, and there's a lot of ties. I think a lot of Princeton came from this area and the growth that it experienced. And now seeing it where there's not as many businesses, it seems like a nice next step for business to move into, and for Princeton to embrace as the next frontier of Princeton's new growth, the renaissance of Princeton, if you will. And it's really exciting to be a part of that and try to bring some color and some vibrancy down here. And I am hoping that within the next couple of weeks we'll have our windows done for our new space. We kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock, obviously, when it was time to do a grand reopening for our new space. And so that's kind of a really nice anticipation of doing a grand reopening and inviting people down here. Once we do the grand reopening, I hope we'll have some drinks and some food and some nice little festivities. But with that in mind, I don't know when that can safely be, so we haven't pegged down an exact date for that yet. But once it happens, I want it to be kind of big so we can properly introduce people to what the Historic District has to offer.
So my name is Joni, and I'm the owner and operator of the Gaia Den Yoga and Healing Arts Studio here on Mercer Street. Yeah, we do little bits of everything here. I've got retail. I try to have a lot of local artists or any of our festival family that's got little online businesses and things like that. I try to like give them a little space where they can make a little extra pocket change. We have Reiki, we do oracle readings, meditation groups, yoga classes, little hangout times, yeah. So I've been a yoga instructor for a little over 20 years now, and the world of the healing arts has just always been just deeply embedded, and it's always been my passion. And throughout my own healing journey and traveling the festivals and things like that, I was like, wow, we really need a place like that. And spending so much time in Asheville where there's like literally a Gaia Den on every corner, you know. I was like, wow, we really need a place like that here, you know. There was just, I've taught in all of the gyms here yoga, and yeah. So, you know, I was like, we just really need a place like that here. And so through it took years to get open and to find the perfect building, and you know, to just gather tribal support, you know, and with the love and just utter belief from everyone that we had to have a place like this here. We are here, so yeah. The one thing that I hear from people, whether they're friends that come in here or even just random strangers, you know, that come in, they're like, I just want to come in here and just breathe. And I'm like, yes. You know, it's so wonderful to watch people come in and just have this automatic reaction of just, you see just the stress just leave their face, their body, you know. And, you know, whether they're sitting in here and reading a book and hanging out, or they're taking a class, or they're just stopping by to, you know, smell the sage, whatever they're doing, you know. One thing that I keep, the feedback I get from people is they come here and they feel like their soul is fed. And I'm like, well, mission accomplished, everybody. So that's what it's all about.
All right, the Princeton Railroad Museum started dedicated to the Virginian Railroad. Princeton would not be Princeton without the Virginian Railroad. Princeton was burned during the Civil War and was very slow to build back up. And in around 1905, 1906, the Virginia Railroad decided to put a station here and decided to put what we called, when I was a youngster, a foundry, but it was the shops. And the shops at one point had up to 1,100 men employed, and they were from Princeton, and they lived here, and they added to the economy. Princeton grew rapidly when the station came and the shops came. And so Princeton probably would not be what it is today were it not for the Virginia Railroad. And that's why we have the Railroad Museum. We're standing in the original station that was built around 1905. And so when they decided to close it, when the Norfolk and Western Railroad bought the Virginian in 1959, they decided to close the station. Princeton decided it would be a good use for a museum. And that's where we are today. We have people from all over the world. We are just newly became members of Harvest Host, which is a group of RVers who travel throughout the country. I probably have had in the last month 30 to 40 calls from people with their RVs wanting to park outside in the parking lot, and we welcome them to come. Even though the museum's not open right now because of COVID, all the RVers look in the windows and they text me and tell me, we're coming back, on our way back, hopefully you'll be open. So we have a model railroad upstairs that is under construction. There are a lot of model railroad people in this country and in other countries in the world. They come here to see how our model railroad is going. We have a lot of people who are Virginian fans, and we have a lot of people who are N&W fans. The room we're standing in right now is the N&W room because the N&W bought the Virginian in 1959, so we have a lot of N&W artifacts also, not just the Virginian. And even now we have Norfolk and Southern artifacts because N&W merged with Southern Railroad and became Norfolk Southern. So we get a lot of people from all over the country. You can find us on Yelp, you can find us on TripAdvisor. You see we have 4 to 5 stars from everybody. So this is a well-maintained museum. I have several people who work here. I have 2 ladies who've been here for years and they keep it spotless. So, and we have some things that aren't available anywhere else in the world. So, especially when it comes to the Virginian. So that's where we get people from. The caboose is the conductor's house. He lives here. The conductor is the boss of the train, and many times he stays for a week or so. An engineer only works so many hours, and then they have to stop and get off and get a new engineer. The conductor stays. He has a bed to sleep in. He has a stove to cook his meals on, and it's coal-fired There's the coal, you put it down in the bottom and this heats it up. He has water tanks. He has a sink to wash his dishes in, a sink to wash his hands in, lots and lots of closets. He has a refrigerator, and the refrigerator was called an ice box. That's the original term. And there was a big block of ice right here that kept his eggs and meat and milk cold. And when they stopped at a station, he would replenish the ice, and it would just melt and go down underneath the caboose. The three things people like here, not just Princeton, but the whole state: the people and the mountains and the faith base. That's what everybody likes. And then they usually say, and my family's here. So that's what I like. The people here will stop by the road and fix your flat tire. They won't charge you and they won't rob you when they leave. And that's the nice thing about this area, it's the people.
So it is an exciting moment in time for Princeton. If you pay close attention, there are some transformative projects in the works that are just percolating and waiting to burst forth from beneath the surface, like the Renaissance Theater, like the Farmers Market, and like one project that you may not have heard yet, the Lonnie Gunter Jr. Center for Culture and History, which is set to take root right here in the Historic District. This next segment is going to give you a little taste of this project, and to find out more, visit theriffraff.net/LGC.
So I'm Kevin Bartlett, I'm one of his nephews. And you don't think about it much as a kid, but as you get older, you realize you're like, this is an amazing collection. And like I said, I've been around the world and I've never seen anything to this level. I used to go for conferences out in San Francisco and they have a steam museum out there and they have like one or two. And so I don't even know how many are in here. There's like 10. And like I said, and most of them are pretty much functional. So it's just, the amount of steam engines that are located in one location, it definitely needs to be preserved.
And watching my dad, it was fun because at his heart, he was a kid at heart. So he would get excited about what he was working on, and you just had a positive energy about him as he was working on things, and just being amazed at what he could do, where he would take something that to most people would look like just junk, and by using his engineering ideas and his different trade skills, would bring it back to life and restore it so that piece of history was restored so people could enjoy it. I really think if we invest in saving the past, that really helps our future. I think it's inspiring to see what others have created. I think it's inspiring too to see a whole period of equipment from the Industrial Revolution. That was really large part of our state's history and our nation's history. And I just think you can learn from it and bring about new ideas also.
He was always interested in the steam engines and everything, and I guess he just seen it disappearing, people getting rid of it, and he admired it. Well, it was always Daddy's dream, and he was just kind of hampered here with parking and everything. And he always wanted to keep the collection together and where people could see it and enjoy it. And, try to remember the stories we can about it so we can pass it on to other people. I have met people up around Lewisburg that remember coming out here, and this one guy runs a junk store now with antiques and just old stuff. And he knew exactly who I was and who Daddy was, and rode out here on the bus. And some of the boys that did work at my farm this spring had been over here and seen the collection. So these kids remember it from when they were little, and there was busloads of them. Yeah, he just down to earth. He'd teach everything he knew. When he come up to the farm. We rebuilt the log cabin barn and things like. He knew how to do everything. He was one of those pulley and levers men. And these big engines back here, I don't know, still don't know how he did it. They were over here. And he moved them things over here, and I don't know how. They didn't start, they don't run, you have to pull these. He just could figure things out. And people, they just don't learn things like that anymore. It's all push button. It'd be kind of completion of his dream. I don't want to see it divided up and go all over the country. He didn't want to donate it to Smithsonian or anything because he'd seen in magazines where they were selling off stuff that people gave him. And they've had warehouses all over the country full of stuff that nobody gets to see. He wanted it to stay together as its own self. You know, it's his collection.
Hello, we're Option 22, and this is our original song, Come Out of the Darkness. Call to the night sky. How did we get here? I'm calling out to the night sky. We're all so scared. Hiding from the world out there, hiding from the pain and all the hate here. Hiding in my bedroom, I'm sitting with the window shades drawn. Come out of the darkness. Won't you come out to play? Won't you come out of the darkness? Won't you come out to play? It doesn't have to be this way. We can learn to love and not hate here. I can't stop thinking about it. We were given paradise and we are here to tend to this garden. And we should. Well, all the golden rules, it seems, they've been thrown out of the windows. What are we thinking about? Hoping we will see the lights. Looking in the rear view, I pray. Darkness. When will we come out to play? When will we come out of the darkness? When will we come out to play? to play. Come on out, come on out, come on out. Call to the night sky, how did we get here? I'm calling out to the night sky, we're all ready for a change here. I open up the window, we'll open up our eyes and we'll live again. Dark days fade into the distance. What are we waiting for? Come out of the darkness. Come out to play. When will we come out of the darkness? Come on out, come on out, come on out.
So beyond our downtown and all around the city of Princeton, there are some wonderful businesses and attractions that make this area a wonderful place to be. Like the beautiful Chuck Mathena Center, like the brand new Appalachian Baseball League, like the new croquet course at Berkshire Custard, and like the Dinosaur Mini Golf Course. Right now, we're just gonna scratch the surface on all these wonderful attractions, but we're gonna visit a few of Princeton's bright spots right now.
We are an escape room. We are the only one in the Princeton area. It's a good place to bring your family, your friends, teams, people from, your church groups, your businesses, different things like that. And you actually go into a room where there's a bunch of puzzles and games, and y'all all have to work together in order to get out. We don't actually lock you in because the fire marshal won't let us lock you in, but you got to actually use the key to put in the doorknob, and you got to turn it to get out. So we have went to different escape rooms like on vacation and things, and we really enjoyed it. My daughter loved it, and we just happened to be on Facebook one day and just seen that Erica had this up for sale, and we just thought we'd come talk to her about it and just took off from there. We get some locals, but we mainly get a lot of out-of-towners because they love escape rooms. So we've had people from California, Kansas, Washington, just about everywhere. We have a map back there that people mark where they're from. We had people here the other day from Michigan. And the locals just don't really know what it is. They don't really understand what it is. But we get, like I said, a lot of out-of-towners, the ATVers. We get a lot of those that come in.
This is Last Option. It is our second newest edition. We opened it last year. Just watching the people interact in the rooms and seeing them figure out puzzles, and you can watch their faces change when they figure something out.
It is games and puzzles, things to intrigue you, things to figure out. You're actually thinking outside the box. You're on your cell phone. You can't use your cell phone in our games. It is actually real quality time and real thinking. This started out as our loser wall. And if you lost and didn't get out, you signed this wall. This was actually the winner wall over here. But people just started signing anywhere and everywhere. So we have signatures all the way down through here and all the way down on both sides of our hallway. That's one thing they all look forward to. And we also give out little souvenir keys to you, whether you get out or you don't get out. And that's two of the things that people really like to do. I love that people are so close and so friendly in Princeton, and we are growing. We are seeing a lot of growth, a lot of small businesses, people just really thinking outside the box and coming up with different things, and we just like it.
We really love it. We love the community here. Everybody is very friendly, and actually Princeton is from my experience, from Beckley or Bluefield or Danville, the most friendly people are in Princeton. Don't take me wrong, everybody is okay, but Princeton is, I don't know, I really feel home. Here's where my kids been raised and born, and I really feel a part of the community more than just a business, because I very much, I came from Egypt. I was 23 years old, so I spent time here more than I spent home, back home when I'm born. So really it is considered home. We love the people here, and we know the people by names, and everywhere you go and see them, it's just like, it's like a family. That's really the meaning of a family business, because it's the customer, the workers, everybody is like a family. Even I have workers that's their moms used to work here and they're born and they grow older and then their daughters work here. So that's very interesting. It's generations of people around here. That's very much what it is everybody like the food, and we really enjoy making the food, because it's it become like we cook for ourselves. That's how it feels.
We opened in 1997, November the 24th, so we're coming up on 23 years. Sometimes it's hard for me to fathom that we've actually, been so long. But we would get together and we would talk, and we like to go places where you could chill out, you could listen to music, and you could visit with friends, and that kind of was inside of us. So over the years, we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, until we came to a place in our lives where, especially Jane and I, my sister had more responsibilities, but we were both divorced, our children were grown, and we were like, I think I was 42 then. So we thought, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it. We're gonna jump in with both feet. What's the worst thing that could happen? This has been our vision, this has been our passion. So, and it's just really interesting how it all came about, because Jane went to Vermont and ended up working for Vermont Coffee Time, which connected her with the coffee business, which connected her with Green Mountain Coffee, and I was here. And then when the renovation started, I said, I think this is a good time in Princeton if you want to come. And she says, West Virginia? And I'm like, yeah, it's not that much different than Vermont. So she called me one day and she said, okay, I'm in. I said, okay. She quit her job, I quit my job, and here we are, 23 years later. And it has it really ended up being what we really desired, you know, because you can just sense the atmosphere, and it's just become a little haven, you know, just by what the community gives back to us and what people say and what we get from them, you know. It's been really good. A lot of work, a roller coaster, but good. When they realized that what we were doing, and we were serious about what we were doing, that we're not just going to be a little fly-by-night place, you know, that we really wanted something special, the people just came in. And they did. They embraced us, and they have to this day. You know, we had a tough time a few years back, and I thought, I don't know if I can keep doing this because, Sister Jane passed away and all this. So the community just kind of rallied together. Once I didn't really say anything because, you don't really, but the Ministerial Association meets every Thursday for years and years, and they grabbed a hold of it. And they rallied the community, and everybody just pulled in, and so it just really helped us survive at that time, because it was really difficult. It was a difficult time. So they've always been supportive. They've always been here. They've always come. We couldn't have made it without them. It's a special community. I see that not only with the coffee house, but anything that goes on. You see people rally together. When it gets tough, people are there. They're there to express their love, their concern, their care. And I think it's just a great community. I love it. I love the people.
Hello, I'm Wyatt Lilly. I'm the owner of Cheap Thrills Records. And we started out back in 1995 when I was only 4 years old. Maybe a little older. And of course the store then was not exactly how it is now. We've got to change with the times. Back then we sold a lot of cassettes and we had a much smaller selection. We've grown into video games, DVDs, CBD products. We had lots of vinyl before, but we removed the vinyl after a while, and now we're back into vinyl really big. So it's a constantly evolving thing, just kind of rolling with the times. Well, I was finishing up college and getting my bachelor's degree, and I didn't really have a clear direction of what I wanted to do, but I was pretty sure I did not want to go for more schooling. I'd been in school all my life and thought I would give owning my own business a try, give it a shot and see what happened. And so I decided a record store would do pretty well, and that was the early to mid-90s. And at that time, CDs were really selling like crazy, but there weren't too many stores that featured used CDs. And of course, the margin on new CDs was never all that great, but you could make a lot more off of the used CDs, and there wasn't a store like that around here. There was a store like that where I went to college, and I worked there for a short time to learn the ropes, and I thought, hey, Mercer County could use a place like that. Let's give it a try. Over the years, we've had lots of regulars coming in and out, and sometimes they'll be regulars for years and years and then move and then come back and become regulars again. And I see people all the time that, they look a little old and they say, I used to come in here when I was a kid. And I'm like, oh, what? But no, we've had tons of regulars, and that's what keeps us here, repeat business. Well, there are people that tell us how much they appreciate the store, and it really does tend to add a bit to the quality of life around here. And on the other side, we have a lot of people that will drive long distances to come here. We have folks that will come from Blacksburg to check us out on a regular basis. Or if they come to town regularly for work, they'll always stop by. And with smartphones these days, people will look for a record store, and we'll get a call and they're like, where exactly are you located? And you can tell they're driving, and a few minutes later you see a car pulling with a New Jersey tag on it or something like that. And so it is a destination for lots of folks. Independent record stores are a bit of a draw, kind of a unique draw. And so there is such a thing as record store tourism, and we participate in it. We have been wanting to spruce up the building for a while. I don't know if you remember, but we just had regular red brick out for the front 80% of the building, and then there was an addition that was white cinder block, and had some mold and stuff on it. Rather than just paint over that, we thought we'd just paint the whole building and then possibly do a mural. So we painted the building, and I thought to myself, what kind of mural would look good on a record store? And It was the same kind of thing with the name of the store. It just occurred to me, what's the most awesome thing you can think of featuring a record? So I thought, a record playing an electric guitar that shoots lightning, riding a white tiger that flies over a pile of skulls, wearing a Viking helmet. And so it's pretty specific, but that's what I wanted. So I contacted, I had put it out there for bids or whatever, and a few artists contacted me, and Drew Shinart's, he came through with a sketch that I really loved, and we evolved it a little bit, and there it is, and I couldn't be happier. I think it turned out great.
I'm Tim Smith, and I'm the director of Planet Extreme Teen Center, Incorporated. Planet Extreme Teen Center is an organization that is a safe, positive place for teenagers to hang out during the week and also on the weekends. We have a lot of programs that are based around the arts and music and theater and all kinds of different things. And our goal is to give kids a good space to perform as well as learn and grow. Technology has grown quite a bit, and so we have to change with the times, as well as there's just a lot of different things that we're finding ourselves into that a lot of the rest of America has been into for a while, but we're finding it here. As far as like our theater program and things, we have jumped quite a bit forward in technology because you just need so much when it comes to theater. Everything from lighting to sound equipment. Those two things alone, they're super expensive, but at the same time they're super needed to have an effective program. And so, so we have actually upgraded a lot of our lighting here in this past year. Well, the Teen Center is, we try to have a little bit of a controlled environment because we work with minors. And so our staff is screened, and we have places for the kids to sign in when we're open when we're completely opened up. And so like when you come into the center, you sign in, and then when you come down into the facility, if we're running like an event or something like that, you come down and you can go into the pool tables. We usually run tournaments. There's stuff that's happening on the stage, and we do some Fear Factor stuff, and so the kids are constantly moving around. And so the setup here is so that if you want to just sit and talk with your friends, there's tables. If you want to come to the stage, maybe sometimes there's a band or something like that, you can come down here. There's tournaments at the pool tables and ping pong tables and things like that. And so there's a little bit of a flow when we have events here, and those are just the general events that we do. But like if you come like after school, a lot of times the stuff that's here is more program based. So like if you're in our music program, you're going to be on the stage with a teacher, and depending on what he's teaching, it might be voice, it might be instruments, but you'll be on the stage at that point. If you are here for like theater, usually there's different groups that meet, and you're doing different. Theater takes up a lot of space, so you could be in one room doing one thing, and you could be in another room doing another thing. And so we just kind of move around the center quite a bit. We do have a studio, which we do some of our videography, our photography, and things like that. That's up in the top part of the house, and so when kids are here doing that, they might be up here. But we did set up this behind me. There's a set for one of our little shows that we're doing with some of the girls that are here, and so we brought that downstairs because there's so many girls and there's so much energy, and so you need a bigger set. So we came down here, and so that's kind of the flow. We do have an outside area as well. We have basketball and things of that sort. And so my wife, who usually runs a lot of the tournaments and things like that, she just constantly is moving people around the center. So, well, you've got to understand that if we didn't do any of these programs with the arts, it still would be about the kids. So it's always about teenagers coming in here, getting a safe, positive atmosphere, as well as learning skills. And we always try to push excellence. And so we do use the arts as a tool to teach them excellence. And so like when they're on the stage and we're pushing them for performance, we're always trying to raise the bar for them. They give us this performance, and sometimes we got to push them a little bit higher. So we're always pushing them for a little bit more excellence. And I find that as a teen center as a whole, it's really important because what it's doing is it's pushing them in their own life as well to be better and to be more. And I think it reflects in the culture of the area too.
In Princeton?
My gym and the library. I like the library, McDonald's, and all the restaurants here.
You have a favorite thing about the library?
Yes. Comic books and the books. I like the comic books and the Wii and the 3D printers.
Yep. I heard that you taught Miss Sheena how to use the 3D printer.
Yep.
Can you tell us about it?
Well, the 3D printer is like there's these plastic color things, and the nozzle would heat up. I don't know how, but it's like really hot, and it'll melt the plastic, and you can pick different designs you want to print out on a thing called Thingiverse. Government healthcare. Yep. Me too, and I would also like to see more comic books. I like books, especially comic books. Yep.
Very nice.
So you think you're all that? So you think you're all that matters in my life? So you think you're all that? So you think the whole world circles around you? I don't owe you nothing. No one owes you something. I've got news for you. There's 7 wonders of the world and you're not one. There's 8 billion people in the world and you're just one. There's over 1,000 things that you could be. Why does it have to involve me? Why do you always involve me? Oh, 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 oh. You walk around like you own the world, like everyone owes you something. You expect me to fall down, to bend my knees for nothing. I don't owe you nothing. No one owes you something. I've got news for you. There's 7 wonders of the world and you're not one. There's 8 billion people in the world and you're just one. There's over 1,000 things that you could be. Why does it have to involve me? Why do you always involve me? Oh, oh, nothing. No one owes you something. I've got news for you. 7 wonders of the world and you're not one. There's 8 billion people in the world and you're just one. There's over 1,000 things that you could be. Why do you always involve me? Why do you have to involve me?
As you may know, Princeton, West Virginia is home to a vibrant creative community. I'm standing here in Artist Alley, where 22 artists painted their vision back in 2013. We could not possibly meet all of the artists that exist here in this community. There are so many of them, but right now we're going to meet a few.
I just like to create in general, but right now I'm doing a lot of metal sculpture, and it's been swinging that way for about 10 years now. But I do a little bit of drawing, pen and ink, t-shirts, designing, but 80% of my work is large metal sculpture now. We're standing, pretty close to some sculptures that the city commissioned. Gosh, I can't remember what year it was, been quite a while now though. But we made these for the city of Princeton, and we have several other sculptures around town. We have some cattails that are made out of steel and copper down here at the Triangle, close to the post office. We did the arch that's over top of the entry and the exit, depending on how you're looking at it, of Artist Alley, where all the little murals are. And down at Sophisticated Hound, we did their sign that's hanging over top of the door outside, as well as their interior sign that was laser cut and LED lit. That was a really popular project. That was really fun. So, although I'm from Oak Hill, West Virginia, in Fayette County, I've been in Athens now for 30 years. And to watch it happen down here in Princeton, this close to home, the excitement, the youthful nature of everybody that comes and goes in this little town, and it's blooming. It really is. It's coming into its own, and it's fantastic to watch and be part of. It's nice. Most of my connections are Facebook and Instagram. You can find me on there, Mountain Artworks Plural Studio, Mountain Artworks Studio. And if you're ever in the Athens area, just go up behind Concord College. I'm the only guy up there with weird stuff in his yard, so I'm not too hard to find. I hope that it keeps on trucking. People get the spirit to do something, be a part of something. Like I have and like you have and like you are. And we're all playing our little part to help others thrive, which help ourselves thrive. And we all just move forward together. That's what it's all about.
Well, I am John Coffey. I'm a watercolor artist, among other things. Art has always been a part of my life as long as I can remember. I loved to draw when I was a kid. My teachers in grade school used to get after me all the time because I would be drawing instead of doing my work. And when I was I guess 8 or 9 years old, my mother bought me a John Nagy Learn to Draw set. And that's when I really got started. It's interesting how being an artist here has evolved over the years. Now there's so much more of an art scene in Princeton than there was, back when I first started. It was almost non-existent. I mean, there were a few artists around, back in the late 60s, early 70s, but not the number that we have today. We had some really good artists back then, but they were few in number. And now we have a lot of really good artists in this area. And it's nice to be a part of it. Such a up and coming and vibrant art scene. Well, I think success breeds success. And the fact that we have businesses coming along downtown now, and that they are thriving in spite of the coronavirus pandemic and all this, it's encouraging, and so I just see more and more of a good thing happen. I will see a scene that speaks to me. I don't do too well painting things just to be painting them. They have to speak to me first. I work mostly from photographs because I started watercolor painting back in the late 80s, and I was working a lot of hours full time, and I had to do all my painting at night, and so I would take photographs of scenes I like to paint and paint them at night. And so I still use that same method. And when I see a scene that speaks to me, I take photographs and try to paint them. I don't copy the photographs. I don't like copying photographs. I see no point in it. But they do give me the detail that I need for my composition and for my painting. I like sharing my art with other people, and you know, besides sharing my art, I like to teach, to share my abilities that I have with other people.
Oh, I'm Wanda Murphy, and I grew up in McDowell County, and the sun didn't ever shine down there, so I said I was going somewhere where the sun would shine. There was too many mountains. I was in ophthalmology, and the days were long and stressful, so I started painting in the afternoons just to relieve the stress. And then I decided one day I was just going to be a famous artist. My first degree was in business administration at Bluefield State, and I went to Concord and got my fine arts degree. I opened up Murphy Gallery in 1984, and I decided I was going to be a famous artist. I just had to figure out how to do it. And I got so many people saying, "We love your art, but it doesn't fit in with the flow of the gallery." Then one day I got a letter saying, "We love your work. We want you to have a one-woman show." I mostly have done Madison Avenue, the Southamptons, and Miami, in Boca Raton, Florida, and my home base in Princeton. This is it's my little gallery, and I call it my she shack, because I can come down here and do whatever I want to. And you've got to believe in your art, because everybody likes something different, and it doesn't matter. And so whatever you paint, and don't let anybody ever judge you.
Hi, my name is Tiffany McIntosh, and I am a fashion designer. I am a custom fashion designer. Fascinated with people's clothing, and sometimes I even map their personalities to my clothing. So that's what literally got me in it. And I remember being, I think the teacher's name was Miss G.H. when I was in high school. She was in some kind of arts, and she encouraged me to do it. So after that, being 14, I really thought, and you know, at the age 14, you think you can take over the world. So I just knew that I was gonna be this big time person that designed costume designs for, you know, people on stage and stuff like that. But you know, that's where it started, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going. I've recently added a lot of new people, new faces to my team. So what I would do, for example, now I have a welder, and she's working on building a corset for me with welding. So it's something new, and I kind of dabble into different things with my designs just to see what comes out of it. I've had a lot of people saying, "Well, I've never heard that before." My response to that is great. That's what I want, because I want to create something new. So we have new welders, new seamstress. Seamstress work differently, so I want more than one. So we have a lot of new faces on the team that's willing to expand the ideas in my vision. First, it does start from an idea in my head, and it actually, for me, Designs work differently for other fashion designers, but for me, it won't leave my mind until I actually apply it to paper. So it stays there, the details and everything stays there until I just stick it to paper. And then there's sometimes where I stick the original design to paper and I kind of tweak it, and then I keep going because it's not the one that I originally wanted. So it just keeps kind of going for me. So that's how it works for me. What inspires me is my surroundings, personalities, people. I'm a people person. I'm shy, but I'm a people person. I love different cultures. I love different people. I love how people are just so different in their own way. And as long as that is in existence, then that's what's going to keep me going. And to me, that'll be in existence for a while. So I'll keep going with that. The ultimate vision is to first maybe use this foundation to build and to expand farther. I want to do different things. So my ideas don't stop at fashion. My ideas are going to expand into other things, giving back to the community, help building the community, help putting back into the community. And there's so many different ideas. So that's what it's going to, hopefully, that's what it's going to create.
I am Rita Montrose, and I am an artist teacher. I do watercolor and I do metal smithing. I teach at Concord as an adjunct instructor, and I love what I do. We're in my studio, which is also in my basement of my home. I am in the studio every day. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to spend it all day, and sometimes it's only an hour or two, but I'm in the studio every day. I love the creative process. I love the challenge of both being a watercolorist, which is a real thinking process, and also I really love working with metals, and because that again is also a challenge. The jewelry making is the detail part of me, and the watercolor is the free expressive part of me. All right, this is UPO, which is a plastic paper that was actually produced by NASA and was in the NASA program, and there was all this produced, and they came into the art community about maybe 30 years ago. But anyway, you can see it's plastics, it's not real paper. The paint sits right on top. But the process that I've been doing is kind of a monoprint type thing, where I actually put paint on aluminum foil, acrylic paint on aluminum foil. In this case, it was black. Then I press that wet paint down onto the surface, and then I draw on the aluminum foil. So this is the beginning stage. And then here's the finished product. My mother was an artist, and my father was a carpenter and became a master contractor. And I was always doing blueprints with him just for fun, and I learned how to do floor plans and everything. And that kind of led into taking the class in high school in art. And before that, I had a biology teacher that liked the way I would draw, and so he would have me draw on the board his demonstration things, like how to do things. So that kind of spurred it on. And I think also in elementary school I did a lot of drawing on the chalkboards with colored chalk. So I was extremely fortunate as a high school teacher that I had so many creative students, and I think the reason I kept teaching was that I had that kind of really enthusiastic bunch of students. So, well, actually the building on Mercer Street was a thing that my husband thought was a needful thing in the development of the downtown. When I got involved with the CIC and we started seeing things taken off, he kept thinking that it would be really nice to have a gallery. We formed a 501(c), and now it's being directed by Richard Shrewsbury. And he's the art director, and we're open on Fridays and Saturdays, and hopefully this summer we'll be able to expand our hours to other days.
I'm Nancy Aldrich. I have lived in West Virginia nearly 50 years. It is definitely my home, and I taught school in Bramall and in Athens for nearly 35 years. I retired, and in the last 10 years, have been working with fused glass, and that's what we will be discussing today. We are at my house on my farm that I share with my wonderful husband of 50 years, and we have been here 47 years. And when we came, there was nothing, not a house, not a road, but we had a lot of enthusiasm. And so we've spent this time piece by piece, making a place that is a real sanctuary. I've always loved color, and when I discovered fused glass, I discovered a part of creativity that just matched. I just felt it matched. I was still teaching for the first few years I was working with fused glass, and I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make glass before I went to school. I was so involved with it. I've done a lot of different arts and crafts things, and tie-dyed, beading, candles, lots of things, but nothing macrame has caught my attention the way fused glass does. This is some of my new glass, and I can hold it up. Now, this is the underside of it. This is the top of it. I can feel the texture of the dichroic. What I put it against and where I hold it to the light makes a difference in what colors are reflected. So it's so fun. It's really, really fun. Your child self can get excited. So this is new glass that I've just gotten, and I'm eager to work with. This is all dichroic. Dichroic's very expensive because of the process that it has to go through. So small pieces. This is, I don't know, she just keeps forming. She's been there, probably 6 months, but I haven't glued her. And sometimes I'll glue things if I want them to stay really in place while I'm fusing. I haven't glued her and I haven't fused her. Obviously, I keep moving her around. So we'll see. I'm moving towards bigger pieces. These are two things that my husband and I like to put little reminders of how to live a good life up. And this was one of his, was reserve expectation. And it was very therapeutic I would come in during the COVID time, and these are called stringers that I made the letters with, and just do a couple of letters a night. And then here's another one, high intention. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. Some pieces, they may stay on the work table for weeks or months before I'm thinking of maybe attaching them, maybe putting a chain between them, maybe, I don't know. I feel that living in nature, close to nature, as I do, really helps me be open to the creative process. I have to feel tranquil and calm inside if I'm going to make a nice piece of glass. One thing that I did not mention about the fusing process that I like, some people do not, is that you really, if you're a control person, then this is probably not the venue for you, because or the process for you. You put it in, you have an idea, you make a design, you have an idea, and you put it in that kiln, and then what happens is mystery. And things can come out very different. Things can crack, they can blow up. I mean, you make a lot of pieces to get the pieces that you really want. So, and I've been fortunate to live at the beach for a couple of years, in an environment where I was very close to the ocean, and that I was able to take my kiln and work there, and that was also very tranquil. I really depend on nature as a source of inspiration.
shake it off, 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 shake it off. I stay out too late, got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on so many dates, but I can't make them stay. That's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. But the player's gonna play, 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 and the hater's gonna hate, hate, hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break, 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 and the fake is gonna fake, fake, fake. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Never miss a beat, like lightning on my feet. And that's what they don't see. That's what they don't see. I'm dancing on my own. I make the moves up as I go. And that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. But I keep cruising, I can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. But the player's gonna play, 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 and the hater's gonna hate, hate, hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break, 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 and the fake is gonna fake, fake, fake. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, just shake it off. Shake it off, just shake it off. Shake it off, 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 shake it off. Man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my god, I just gotta shake to the fella over there with the hella good hair. Come on over, baby, we can shake, shake, shake. Oh, oh. I'm gonna shake, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the player's gonna play, 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 and the hater's gonna hate, hate, hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break, 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 and the fake is gonna fake, fake, fake. I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, just 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 shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off.
This next segment is about a man with a vision. Arnold Palmer has focused on creating the APALM Center, a community center in the High Street area of Princeton, for years now. Watch this next segment and consider making a tax-deductible donation to help get this project to the finish line.
And she said, somebody needs to do something about it. And a little voice comes to my head. I think I've said this a million times. The little voice said, well, you're somebody on it. Why don't you do something? So that's on a Sunday. And on a Monday morning, I immediately went down to the municipal building and talked to the city manager there. And I said, does anyone have any money that I can get something started up there to try to clean up this trash? Because the kids always come by and they want to know if they can borrow $5 or $10. I want to be able to pay them something so they can, they won't have to borrow it from me. They can work and do it themselves and feel that sense of pride, of doing something for themselves. So she directed me to the courthouse. The courthouse, and I went up and talked to the county commission, and a gentleman by the name of Lowell Huntington was there. So he liked the idea of my story that I presented to them. He said, well, where are you going to be about 1 o'clock? And I said, I'll be home. So he happened to come up with $1,000. So with the $1,000, I took him there and said, guys, would you like to make some money? They said, sure. I said, well, you go up this side of the street and you go up this side of the street and pick up these papers. When you come back, I'll pay you $10 each. That did fine. I said, that way you won't owe me anything. So that started off, and I had several guys. I guess I had 20 or 30 people working at that time, cleaning up the area. So it finally come to the point they said, well, Mr. Farmer, you shouldn't have to pay us to clean up our own mess, so we'll just start doing it. And it started getting better from there. Then I started having some dialogue with them. They said, well, what we need something that where we can have here of our own, to go to. They have all these places downtown where you can go, the rec center and places on other parts of town. We'd like to have something here close at home. So that led me to think about a community center. And everybody thought it was a good idea. So I jumped on that. And Bluefield State come up initially, and we did some drawings and plans. And one gentleman, Dr. Carl Shelton, had been reading about the idea. And they said, well, I have a piece of property I'd like to donate to you because I like what you're trying to do. So he donated that piece of property. That was the beginning of the whole thing. So from there, I got this donation from the Honeycutt Foundation that really knocked me up my feet. I said, who in the world would let Arnold Palmer have $250,000? And I'm still at awe, from that. This is the design of the center that we want to use. We've gone through several project designs, but we found out that this was the one that we want to use because we were thinking it'll fit on this property better as opposed to the other ones that we had designed. So we like it real well. You see the basketball court over here. On this end, over here is going to be the recording studio. Plenty of lighting. Just a sitting room in these rooms down here, game room. We've got to be, so far, I think we've got to be 20 feet from the street, back this way off the street, and so many feet from a residence. We'll be able to enter here from a basement part going underneath, so we have more room here. And down here will be a playground for the kids. We have a walkway, play area down in this area. But once we get it cleared off and get it, start doing the grading or whatever, we'll be able to tell more about it. Right now it just looks like a big conglomeration of trees and weeds or what have you. But once we start digging, we're going to be on the ball. Pat Smith has been just super in working with me with this community center. I can't thank her enough, but she has really been I can't express in depth how well and how good she's been. Even now, whenever I need anything, she's right Johnny on the spot. So I want to thank you, Pat. Love you, and we're going to get this thing going. We're going to make it. This community center belongs to anyone who wants to come and better themselves or want to be a part of this community, this neighborhood. This is not a black community, nor a white community, nor Asian community. This is a neighborhood community, a Princeton community. And you are welcome here anytime, anytime. That goes for everybody. When I say everybody, it means everybody. And I will be there to ensure that this is carried out, because this has been one of my dreams. I am tired of separation. I want incorporation, and that's what we're going to do.
Hello, we're back again. We're option 22, and this is our original song, The Time Is Now. Never there was a time when it mattered more. Never there was a time when it mattered more. Your love and your light can open up the door. And never there was a time when it mattered more. And never there was a time when your love was called upon like this. Well, all of the signs, they beckon us to shine in the darkness. So pull your heart out of your pocket and wear it on the outside. And now is the time, now is the time. So open up your heart, open up your mind. The time is now to open up your heart and open up your eyes. Da 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 da. If they go and try and put your light out, you go and shine it brighter. If they go and try and put your light out, go on and shine it brighter. If somebody done put your light out, I wanna light it for you. If somebody done put your light out, I wanna light it for you. We are not alone. No, we are not alone. And yes, we are called upon. Yes, we are called. We are just travelers here, and it is what we came here for. Alright. And never there was a time when it mattered more. So reach deep down in your soul, shine, children, and tap into that wellspring within. You'll find that place in your deep, deep down. Alright. And we will rise again. Da 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 da. If they go and try and put your light out, you go and shine it brighter. If they go and try and put your light out, go on and shine it brighter. Never there was a time when it mattered more. Never there was a time when it mattered more. Our love and our light can open up the door. Alright. Never there was a time when it mattered more.
I love going and playing outside, and it's fun, and I love getting ice cream on summer days. I love playing with my best friend, and I like going on hikes too.
So I love living in a community where people truly care. And when the going gets rough, the helpers show up. It was so heartwarming this past year to watch all those who stepped forward to help those in need during the pandemic. This next story is a shining example. Check it out.
So the first thought when we canceled school was we're going to have kids hungry. So we have a lot of kids that their only sound meals come from breakfast and lunch at school. So we have a lot of great weekend programs around Mercer County. Several churches and different organizations do weekend bags to get kids through the weekend normally, but a lot of those are staffed by older volunteers, and I knew they would be hesitant to get out. And also their method of getting those to kids was to send them home on Fridays from school. So I was trying to think of how can we get bags out to folks, and just kind of started brainstorming and decided to come up with this method where we would distribute from points around the county every week. And so that's kind of where it came from. We've had over 100 people involved at some point. But what we've done is we've collected primarily monetary donations from individuals. I've done a lot of Facebook fundraising. I've had several people contact me and make pretty substantial donations. And then we use that money to buy food. We've ordered a lot from grants locally, and bought some stuff from Sam's and different places. And then we bring it all here to Mercer School Gym, and we set up kind of an assembly line, which you can kind of see here. We're getting ready to do another packing. And so then we bring in volunteers to help pack. So we have bags and they walk around and take like an item from each table to pack bags. So the Princeton Rotary's been very helpful with that. They've manned a station or a whole section of packing for us every time we've packed. So they've been a huge help for that. And then we've just had other community volunteers. Probably 80 to 90% of my volunteers work in the school system. So we have a lot of concerned principals, teachers, aides, the social workers. They're worried about their kids. We have a cook that's been helping us. So a lot of representation from the school system, but also some great community volunteers too.
Well, Rotary decided to partner with Jacinda and the others who were in the food packing for the school and for the kids. We felt like this was a good place because Rotary, the motto is service above self. So what we did is we partnered with them both financially, and then we partnered with them with bodies. We gave them some bodies to help pack food for their weekend bags, and then also to some of us helped with distribution on Fridays. Well, part of Rotary in itself is involved in helping other people. So hopefully those persons who are part of Rotary have that sense of purpose behind themselves. And so what we try to do is when these kinds of opportunities come up, that should feed right into that issue of, I want to help, I want to serve, here's the opportunity to serve, let me jump in there and do that. And so I think for the persons who have been able to volunteer to be a part of that, it's been very fulfilling for them.
To me, it means
There's a lot of kids at my school and the elementary schools and the primary schools that can't get the food that they need whenever we're not in school, whenever they're not being served food every day. So it's nice to know that they're going to be getting food over the summer and over the pandemic break. So it's just special to me to know that everyone will be getting care during this. It makes me feel like I'm a part of a really good community because every week there's been a new number of helpers and volunteers. Like, a lot of people come back to help, but there's also new people every week, which I think is awesome.
Feeding kids is important, and I don't think people realize that there are kids out there that don't get fed regularly or as well as what we do for our own families. And so, and I see that from the school perspective. Mercer's a 3rd through 5th grade school, so elementary kids are a lot more forthcoming about needing and wanting things than as they get older. So we have a weekend bag program here at Mercer that First United Methodist Church provides for our kids every weekend, and parents sign up for that, so they take those home on Fridays. And I've seen their joy and their excitement in getting those weekend food bags. Since the pandemic and school closure and just all the craziness we've been going through, you know, the school system has provided food every week, 5 days worth of breakfast and lunch. What we found is more people needed it, of course, with what was going on and not having a job, and people that typically would never ask for anything need it because they have no employment, so they have no way of buying what they normally would. Plus they're feeding their kids all day every day. If you have kids, you realize they eat a lot. Teenagers eat a lot. I will say, through this program and what we're doing for the weekend bags, and then what we did every week, we had a huge number of people come out that didn't have to. They did because they care about our kids and they want to see them fed. It is amazing to see the number of people come out and help our community and be willing to do whatever it takes to help our kids. If it's get in the car and drive it there, if it's to make contact with parents and families, if it's to bag the food, if it's to deliver it, to sit out and hand it out. They have really come together because we have a great community. I mean, I'm from here. I'm very grateful for where we live and what everybody does for our kids.
If anybody wants to donate, they could go to Warm a Heart Give a Bed's either website or Facebook page. They've partnered with us on this endeavor. They also operate Amy's House of Hope here in Princeton, and they're a nonprofit. They're set up to receive donations online or by check. So we have partnered with them, and 100% of the money that's donated goes straight to our food bags. So if anybody would like to donate to them and just make a note that it's for student food bags, then we'll be sure to get the money.
Is there another box coming?
Yeah, we have one more right here.
Okay.
Come on, one more. Thanks, sir. Oh, go ahead.
We're going to take them out because the boxes fall apart when you try to pull them forward.
I'm from Princeton, born and raised, and so I love this place. And this whole experience has been incredibly heartwarming because every step of the way, whatever we've needed has come to fruition. Whether it's help, volunteers, food, donations, it's just all come together beautifully. I mean, it's taken a little bit of coordination, but I've had everything I've needed every step of the way, which I think speaks to the people of this community, and we're lucky to live here for sure.
So it's truly amazing in a small town like ours when you tune in and pay attention to how many people there are out there working to make this community a better place to live. Check out what's happening on Henderson Street.
Initially, this phase of what we're trying to do is to build some convenient housing, some affordable housing for seniors and veterans here in the Princeton community. On the site of our former headquarters here on Henderson Street, the old Dunbar School and Easley Tabernacle, J.H. Easley Tabernacle. This location was our headquarters since the 1980s, around 1982. And in September of 2016, we had a devastating fire that pretty much destroyed the interior. The new sanctuary was destroyed. And we've recently just purchased a new headquarters in Bluefield on Highland Avenue. And so we're going to take this site and turn it into the affordable housing for seniors and veterans. This is part of the city's revitalization as well, where they have actually torn down many of the dilapidated housing or abandoned housing. And the city actually owns some of these properties. So what we want to do is work in conjunction with what they're trying to do to revitalize the entire city. And this section will be something that we can play a good part in, trying to put a nice face on it and make it a nice, safe community.
The people have moved on and they have left property, they left dilapidated homes and things. And so this side of Princeton has been left out of a lot of different things throughout its history. And we want to revitalize and again put something that we all can be proud of here on this side of town in Princeton. And so we want the community to be blessed. We want the community to look beautiful. And after we have erected these buildings, they're going to look tremendous. And it's going to give this side a beginning of a new look that not only the community here, but the whole city of Princeton will be proud to share.
Well, I like all the different things I get to see and how Princeton taught me how to dance and just all the concerts and stuff and music I get to see. And since I've been here my whole entire life, it's just a beautiful place and I love it here. Well, all of my memories are when my sister sings at concerts and stuff because she helps me through all my dancing careers, through all my singing, and she's just my personal guide. She's like a map to me. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Darian, and this is Kristen, and this song is called It Wasn't Easy to Be Happy for You by the Lumineers.
Last time we met, your love was dead. You held my hand, bit your tongue, shut me out, spilled my blood all around. Yeah, it wasn't easy to be happy for you. Yeah, I took the poison, praying you'd feel it too. You held your punches back and I left the room. Yeah, it wasn't easy to be happy for you. Although when your rocks fell, we dragged it down. You gave me hell, made your bed. Now you sleep on your own. I guess we'll see. Yeah, it wasn't easy to be happy for you. Yeah, I took the poison, praying you'd feel it too. You held your punches back and I left the room. Yeah, it wasn't easy to be happy for you. I know that you tried, but you're no friend of mine, falling apart. sold a restaurant table for two. Yeah, it wasn't easy to be happy for you.
Thank you.
So I know we're all so grateful to be getting back to life once again. And we owe an enormous debt of gratitude to all the scientists, the medical professionals, and those on the front lines that have helped carry us through this. Right now, we want to send out an enormous thank you to Princeton Rescue Squad, the Bluestone Health Center, all of the agencies, and the hundreds of volunteers that helped make the tremendous vaccine rollout happen here in Mercer County. If you haven't gotten that shot yet, follow the Princeton Rescue Squad on Facebook and find out how you can do your part to help us get through this. Right now, we're going to celebrate two of the superheroes that made the vaccine rollout happen.
I'm Doris Irwin, and I'm a retired public health nurse. We were starting to see our friends, die. We were starting to see a lot of our friends be seriously ill. And we knew we had to do something to try to get back to normal and save the community as a whole. I think what people probably don't understand about it is that it was an effort from hundreds of people in the community. And I had thought about me as a retired nurse, as an individual, wanting to contribute. But the movement itself was actually not my idea. It was actually came out of the local Mercer County Democratic Party. I think we're in a much better place now than we were a year ago, and hopefully we won't have this problem for another 100 years.
When the pandemic first came about, we knew it was going to be bad, but I don't think any of us realized how bad it was going to be, not only for health reasons, but just for the community in general. When we were in the middle of the fight and seeing people die and really nothing we could do but to try to take care of them, when we found out that the vaccine was real and it was going to be available so quickly, it was like being in a cloudy, rainy day and all of a sudden the sun came out. And we could see that there was some light at the end of the tunnel that we could take care of our patients and get everybody taken care of. So although it was a tough time, it also showed how people in this country get together and fix a problem, no matter how big it is. So it's been a tremendous effort from a lot of people to make it happen and to get so many people vaccinated. We've vaccinated about 36,000 people right here. So it's been very successful. We're real proud of it. And again, we're proud of our community, because that's what's best about living in a small community, is when things go bad, that's when people pull together and really do a good job.
be, lifting up the veil and showing holes in the dream. The story we've been telling isn't all that it seems. This American dream ain't all that it seems. If it's not good for you, by God, it's not good for me. Open up our eyes and see. Take what we are learning and find new ways to be. And we'll get through it. May we remember those we left behind, those we left out in the cold, and those who had to die. All the children crying and mothers left alone, with no food to eat and no place to call home. This American dream is ripped at the seams. If it's not good for you, by God, it's not good for me. Too many left behind here screaming, I can't breathe. Now that our eyes are open, what will we see? We'll get through it. Oh, how we're learning things we didn't know, ways that we went wrong and ways we're meant to grow, and how we're seeing how much we need each other, the fathers and the daughters, the sons and the mothers. We must dream a new dream and find another way. We've got to build those bridges. But together, we'll get through it. May we remember how sweet it is to breathe an air that is clear from closed down factories, and how we found the beauty in all the little things, and coffee at the window, listening to the birds sing. What have we learned from this long dark night? What we gonna do and how will we make it right? How will we grow and how will we proceed now that our eyes are open? What will we see? And we'll get through it.
love living in this town so crazy much. I grew up in New Jersey and we didn't really have much open spaces or nature at all. We'd have these little lots, but that was about it. So the fact that we can live in a town, which is a town, like kind of like a tiny city, but that within 20-minute drive, we can go to like 6 different waterfalls or a lake or a hiking spot and all these different wonderful nature treasures. Like, look at this one. Like, we're the only people here. Like, we're in a national park that has, or a state park that has 2 waterfalls in it. And everyone's so busy at the one that they forgot about the other one. Like, what a gift that is. And I feel sometimes like that people who were born and raised here don't even really fully appreciate the gifts that they were given by growing up in this area. So I try to really appreciate it all the more. One of the main reasons though that I stayed, because I've been here for a decade now and I left and I came back, was because there's an artistic community here. Not only is there a nature community, but there's an artistic community that are like a family. Where I grew up, everybody was each other's competition, so you couldn't really share knowledge or collaborate because it was this very animosical natured thing. And then I found a wonderful group of people here who like want to create together, and like here we are doing it, and we get to come to beautiful places to do it at, and like what a special gift that you don't get just anywhere. It's a treat and a treasure, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
So we are so lucky to live in an area that is absolutely surrounded by beautiful nature and wilderness. I think I may have been guilty of taking it for granted a bit growing up around here. And sometimes it takes people visiting from the outside to remind you just how lucky we are. 2 of my good friends just recently moved here to Princeton from Virginia because they loved and appreciated this area so much. And we're going to enjoy some of the beautiful nature scenery with them in this next segment. Enjoy.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Billy. We're at Brush Creek Falls right now, and we're going to do some exploring and show you some awesome places close to Princeton that you can go into nature and just enjoy yourself, relax, explore, whatever you want to do. So that's coming up now. We're just waiting on our friends, right Lacey? Yeah. Just waiting on our friends, and then we're going to get going. The rest of the friends have arrived. There he is. What did you bring to film our adventures today, Robert?
GoPro and iPhone.
Nice. Okay, so now we're at the top of Brush Creek Falls, one of the falls, and we're going to be going down to the bottom there. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I love it here. It's one of my favorite places to go. I almost slipped into the water. That would have been horrible. She doesn't want to be on camera. Oh, she waved! We got a wave. Awesome. Okay, so about to head down to the bottom of the waterfall. The trail's pretty easy. You might have to climb over a tree or something, but it's worth it. It's so beautiful down there, and you can like wade in the water and see the beautiful majesty that is the waterfall. So we're gonna go down now.
we would swing out into the water. And you can see where the wood, which, you know, it's like a little ladder, was made into the tree. It's still there.
So we just enjoyed a beautiful time at Brush Creek Falls, and now we're heading back with all our friends. Hi, friends. Hi, they're not waving at me. Wave at me, friends. Yeah, there we go, I got a wave. And we're heading back up the trail and going back to the parking lot. It's been a great day. And we're out. We just did the hike, it was awesome. We got to hang out by a waterfall with the crew and the magic bus back here. Y'all have fun? Y'all have fun?
Yes.
I guess not, guys. Don't even come here. They don't want you to come. They don't want you to come here. They're like, no, don't. It's not fun. No, okay, we just finished the hike and it was great, and I hope you come and enjoy it for yourself. And we're on to other things now. Yes, yes we are.
Inspirations abound.
Hey everybody, what's up? We're at Camp Creek right now. We're about to go check out another waterfall in one of our special spots, and let's do it. It is Tiffany!
Hello!
Okay, so now I'm walking with Robert. He's getting some awesome, like, what do you call them, hyperlapses?
Yeah, hyperlapse.
Yeah, that's where it's like a time lapse, but while you're moving. It's pretty awesome. And we're heading to the waterfall right now, and it's one of my favorite spots to take pictures, to relax, to film. And so it's cool to be able to share it with everybody out there because it's like really close to Princeton. And a lot of people don't know about this hidden gem of a area. So here we go. Hey, we made it to the waterfall. It's not that far of a walk. It's like, what, like a 3-minute walk to get here? And it's beautiful. And y'all showed me this place and it's amazing.
I really love Camp Creek because not only is it a really good spot to see wonders like this waterfall, but I've also found a lot of edible plants around here. It's really easy to go foraging, and they even have little signs up telling you about certain edible mushrooms that you can find in the area.
So you can go to the top of the waterfall too, and down here is a great place to swim and relax and hang out, and it's just all together like just an amazing experience to have to be out here. Honestly, it doesn't matter what time of year, but it helps when you can swim, which is really nice. Yeah, this is one of my favorite places to come near Princeton. So my partner and I just moved to Princeton, West Virginia about 7 months ago, and one of the things we noticed right away is that there's so many awesome places to go into nature right around the town, and I think it's a blessing to be able to do that. So we just went to the waterfall. Now we're going to our secret spot to lay down our flags, so they like to say. But yeah, it's really beautiful out here. Check it out. So that's something I really like. Don't fall down. This is something I really love about Camp Creek, is because there's the picnic shelters, the public areas, and then there's the waterfall. But then when you go back down the road or the trails, you can find beautiful spots like this where there's nobody but you and your friends, and it's like a magical little, what would you call this?
A little oasis.
It's a little magical little oasis. So that's pretty cool, and I love it here.
We are going to a special spot in the state forest now, which is part of Camp Creek. It's amazing and so vast, and we discovered this really special spot, and we're excited to share with you, top secret.
That's a swimming hole right there.
So we are almost back to the vehicles now, and it was a beautiful adventure. I love it out here. What do you think, Lori?
I think it's beautiful.
She thinks it's beautiful.
We're gonna go to the other waterfall.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
It's Kim in her natural environment.
What are you doing?
So that was beautiful. We're back at the cars now. Before we're done though, we're gonna go check out the one other waterfall across the park so that y'all can see the beauty. I think it's beautiful. See you soon.
Hello.
Hello. Next.
It's Cameron.
Good job. There's Lori and Robert over there, trying to enjoy themselves, but I'm gonna just keep pointing the camera this way. And it is a beautiful area, and it's really easily accessible. The parking lot's just like right there. So if you just want to come sit by a waterfall, it's really easy to get to. You don't have to do any hiking or anything. There is hiking around though. You can go up, have fun and all this stuff, but yeah, it's beautiful. So that is it for Camp Creek for today. It was amazing. I love chilling by the water, hanging out with my friends. And something that I really love too is that it's right down the road from Princeton. And you know, we're gonna go explore Princeton City Park, and I look forward to seeing you there in a minute. Hey everybody, we're at City Park and we're about to explore the trails and show you some of the cool stuff that's here. Down here we have Lacey and Lori. They're coming along on the journey with us, and we're gonna go explore now, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
I just think it's really beautiful. Like all around town you see these wonderful projects that people are really passionate about, and a great group of people came together to make this walking trail.
What's cool about the Princeton City Park is it's like literally, it's in Princeton, and there's all these awesome trails. Then there's a labyrinth.
I'm Becky Kidwell. I grew up here in Princeton and have moved back after being away for several years. This is our pollinator garden in progress. The city was going to plow it under. And I could tell that there were people that had done a lot of work to lay out the beds. This is not an easy thing to have done. And please let me help, let me try. And the first couple of years it was basically a reclaiming thing. And it's just now sort of starting to get some maturity to it. This is like year 2 where we've had mulch and the plants are starting to look pretty much like they belong here, I think, and some are just really growing. It is a place that attracts bees, so if you're allergic to bees, it might not be the best place for you. And I fuss about them sometimes, but that's our job, is to get more people aware of the importance of pollinators and try to make their yard maybe a little bit more pollinator friendly.
So there's also, in the park, there's a really big disc golf or frisbee, what's it called?
A disc golf course.
A disc golf course, and it's really big and it goes through the whole park and it's really cool. It made me want to do it because it's really beautiful back here, and that'd be fun to do that with some friends. Maybe we should do a riff-raff disc golf
That would be awesome.
adventure. That'd be pretty sweet.
There's just like all kinds of hidden gems all around town. I think sometimes even I forget about. There's just over the hill, there's the Princeton Health and Fitness Center. It has an amazing pool and a hot therapy pool. And then there's the Princeton Rec Center that has all the league activities and great basketball courts and just a great Parks and Rec department. Like all kinds of wonderful things.
Also in the city park is this random ancient looking ruin. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Let's walk through it. Maybe it's good luck. It's a portal. It's a portal to another realm. I don't know, but it's really cool. I like it. So thank you for joining us on these adventures through awesome parks and forests close to Princeton. I hope y'all have a great day. Go out and explore, and also, y'all want to say bye?
Bye.
Peace.
Hello again, we're option 22, and this is our original song, Boundless.
What is it about the ocean when you stand before her on her shore? You listen deeply and breathe in her air, and she'll open up her doors. You're tuning in the channel, making sure it's clear. And she'll whisper softly her secrets, and all you have to do is hear. Go on, sing to me, ocean, sing to me of my dreams. Go on, sing to me, mother, sing to me of being free. Go on, tell me all your wisdom from 10,000 years of seas. Go on, sing to me, mother. I am listening, I am listening. Look upon the horizon, well, you can't see the water's end. As she says, you're looking in the mirror, for you are boundless. Yes, you are boundless like the ocean. You are meant to be set free. Oh, the flow just like the water. Naturally, when you stand before that beauty, that is what you see. Well, you came here to no restriction and then release. 'Cause we are more than this. We are more than these bodies. We are more than this. Beyond what the eye can see, there is more than this. There is more than this world here. There is more than this. Oh, and someday we will see. Someday we will see. We're not meant to be in chains, and no, we're boundless. We're not meant to live in cages, no, we're boundless. We are all God's children, and we're boundless. We are all God's children, and we're boundless. Yes, we are stars, we are stars. We are light upon the water. That is our reflection, and that is who we are. We are lights, we are lights. We are dancing on the water. We are wind, we are air. We are the ocean. Yes, we are love. Just hold my hand and we will dance
away from this world we know. Just hold my hand, I'll take you there. I know which way to go. Just hold my hand and we will dance. Yes, we will leave this world behind. Just hold my hand and we will dance upon the music. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. And we will dance. You are boundless like the ocean. You are meant to be set free, or to flow just like the water, unnaturally. When you stand before that beauty, that is what you see. We came here to no restriction, and then release, 'cause we are more than this. Alright, we are boundless. We are boundless.
You guys always come to Celebrate Princeton Street Fair. Is that a nice time for you all?
It is. We usually do very well on adoptions there, and this year we're going to really miss it. So.
Yeah, we miss having you there too, so we thought maybe we would feature a few of your animals and see if we might be able to find people out there who are interested in adopting.
Awesome.
So what's the first one we're going to show?
The first one is Mabel. She came in once her owner passed away. She is older. She's not fixed yet, but you know that would be included in the adoption fee.
She's strong.
They are Chow and German Shepherd.
Chow and German Shepherd.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get really big.
Oh yeah, you can tell by the size of their paws. These are gonna be huge dogs. These are only about 8 weeks old.
They're so sweet.
And they're available for adoption right now as well.
What's the process for someone coming in to take one of these home?
We just have to have an ID. A lot of people think that if they're from out of Mercer County, they can't adopt, but that's not true. I have dogs in China, so everywhere. I'm not sure where these come in from. We just received them, and I think there's like 3 or 4 more in their litter. They would have been part of the street fair because we like to take puppies and kittens. But they're up here, they're available for adoption. And they're really sweet and cuddly. And
do you always have a lot of kittens?
During this time of year we do, just because it's puppy and kitten season. So we get like really bombarded with kittens. But this year has actually not been that bad. This is our main cat room. This is our free roam room, which means all the cats, they just mingle together. You have some in the cages, but those don't get along, so we have to keep them separated. When the cat comes in, we hold them in the back for 10 days to make sure there's no diseases or anything, and then we bring them up here. Males are then neutered. And then in here is our nursery. This is basically just a room for pregnant or nursing moms. our big dog floor. This is where we have all of our big dogs, but most, as you see, all of that is empty. We use that for animal control when they bring stuff in. And then on down this way is our adoptable dogs.
So when I became a commissioner 6 years ago, one of the things that we had already identified was that trash and litter and all of the problems that we see in our community, it really stemmed back from a lack of responsibility, and that we all knew that we had a role to play in making sure that our county was going to be stronger. And so we started reaching out, and within 2 months I said, you know, we've really got to get focused on getting the trash up out of Mercer County. And so we started this program basically to allow the community to come together and participate in making sure their county was going to be cleaner. And so we said we're going to do this 40-day campaign. We're going to start on March the 20th. We'll go to April the 30th, and then we'll get as many community groups out as possible to really join into the process of keeping Mercer County clean. And it took off. And you know, within the first 2 years, we had hundreds of volunteers, thousands of hours, and it was really something special. In the third year, we actually involved a lot of the kids too, because we brought them back in, started a Trash to Treasure campaign. And then we got a mascot named Rocky. It's a great raccoon. He was kind of ticked off that all his other raccoon brethren were not happy about the way they were being treated, that they were a menace to trash in our communities. So Rocky decided to come to us, and he said, you know, I want to be your spokesperson. So we now have a mascot, Rocky, in our third year. And then we developed a coloring book in cooperation with our Convention and Visitors Bureau to really educate our young people about not only the importance of keeping Mercer County clean, but also knowing that we have a lot of tourism venues around the county that they should be proud of as well. So, you know, this year was a lot different because we had the COVID-19 virus, and that was a little tough for us because it really came at a time where people normally come together to clean their communities up. And this year we started to do other things called Take 5, where you could get 5 bags, you could go out in your community, put the trash in those 5 bags, we'll come and clean them up, and we'll pick them up for you and take them back. And it's really about how you get active. It's really about how you become a volunteer in your community, and how you take something and you can see a physical difference from the moment that you have it, that you see it start, to the moment it's ending. You know that you've had a difference in that community.
It has been so nice to share this virtual experience with you. We hope that you have enjoyed it. I'm so grateful to be a part of such a wonderful community, and it feels as if we're on the... Good night, everyone.